Chapter 235. She's so weak Emperor Qi Ming has no choice. Let them in. A moment later, the four of them walked into Qianqing Palace. Your Majesty, the Qing King, General Lin, the Great General, and all the ministers have arrived. As soon as Xiao Nani and Jiang Peihuan entered Qianqing Palace, Wang Kuan walked up to Emperor Qi Ming and said, "What are they trying to do? Let them in." "Forget it, let's go to Chongming Palace." Qianqing Hall was where Emperor Qi Ming handled official matters. Although it was not small, it was not very big either. In contrast, the Chongming Hall next to it was much more expansive. By the time Emperor Qi Ming arrived, the Chongming Hall was already filled with people. "Houn Heir, are you all right?" Upon spotting Jiang Peihuan standing beside Xiao Nani, Jiang Hong hastened forward. Seeing the worry in Jiang Hong's eyes, Jiang Peihuan smiled. "Father, rest assured, I'm fine." Relief washed over Jiang Hong as he glimpsed her smile. Turning to Xiao Nani, his eyes reflected gratitude and approval. "King Cheng, thank you for what you did last night." "Great General, you are too polite. It was what I should have done." Jiang Hong's expression softened further at Xiao Nani's response. Upon setting his eyes on Princess Zhuoma, did they really think the Jiang family was defenseless? A princess from a minor tribe dared to harm his beloved Houn Heir? At this moment, Zhuoma did not notice Jiang Hong's gaze. She stared at Jiang Peihuan. When she saw Jiang Peihuan standing very much alive before her, Zhuoma hadn't expected someone to survive the bite of her colorful snake. When she turned around, she met Xiao Nani's cold, menacing gaze. His eyes didn't seem to be looking at a living person, but rather, a corpse. Xiao Nani was filled with regret. He shouldn't have come directly to the palace. Instead, he should have ended this woman's life outside. Perhaps sensing the killing intention from Xiao Nani, Jiang Peihuan gently tugged at his sleeve. Seeing the expression in Jiang Peihuan's eyes, the man's face softened slightly. "What are you all trying to do?" At this moment, Emperor Qi Ming also walked over. As he spoke, Emperor Qi's gaze fell on Xiao Nani. "Imperial brother, Princess Zhuoma attempted kill my future queen with her snake. What should be her punishment?" "You're saying Princess Zhuoma tried to have Jiang Peihuan dead by a snake?" Emperor Qi Ming, now familiar with Jiang Peihuan's name, instinctively turned to Zhuoma. "Princess Zhuoma, is this true?" Responding to Emperor Qi Ming, Zhuoma began. "It's a misunderstanding. I didn't dash." She was cut off as a wooden box was thrown towards her. Instinctively dodging, the box hit the ground, releasing the dead snake inside. Many had gathered in Chongming Hall, and upon witnessing this, their expressions varied. "This is the snake that the first prince mentioned from the grassland tribes. Princess Zhuoma, do you have anything to say?" "Your Highness, this snake is from the grasslands. Why can you be so sure that it belongs to me?" "Ha!" Though his face held a smile, his eyes were void of amusement, filled instead with a chilling intensity. Without uttering a word, he clapped his hands softly. Han Feng entered the hall, leading a maid. It was Zhuoma's personal maid. Azu. Zhuoma looked anxious when she saw her maid. She looked at Xiao Nani and said in a low voice, "Your Highness, why did you capture my maid?" "What I detained was not just any maid, but the one who released the snake into the general's mansion," he replied coldly. "Your Highness King Cheng, don't be ridiculous. When did I release a snake into the general's mansion?" Azu retorted quietly. Xiao Nani, seemingly unfazed, shifted his gaze back to Emperor Qi Ming. "Imperial brother, I came today to request a decree." "Speak. If I can prove that this snake was indeed released by Princess Zhuoma and her maid into the general's mansion, please grant me permission to execute both the princess and the maid." This. While Emperor Qi Ming could disregard the execution of the maid, he seemed conflicted about executing Princess Zhuoma. However, Emperor Qi Ming has always acceded to Xiao Nani's requests. So Emperor Qi Ming directly addressed Jiang Peihuan. "Miss Jiang, you are the victim. What do you have to say about this matter?" "Houn Heir is just a young maiden. She's delicate and must have been scared out of her wits. Why question her? Since she's to be my wife, I could decide on her matters." Before Jiang Peihuan could even speak, Xiao Nani spoke up. Hearing Xiao Nani describe her as delicate, Both Emperor Qi Ming and Jiang Hong twitched their lips. Perhaps Imperial Uncle is misunderstanding the meaning of delicate? This was uttered by Xiao Juanhao. In Xiao Junhao's memory, Jiang Peihuan was always fierce as a tigress. Now seeing her standing so obediently by Xiao Nanyas's side, Xiao Juanhao felt nothing but jealousy. He voiced out after listening to Xiao Nanyas's comment. Silence. When I'm speaking with the emperor, where do you get the right to interrupt? Xiao Nani glared coldly at Xiao Juanhao and scolded him. Xiao Juanhao was speechless right away. Your Highness, Miss Jiang hasn't been hurt at all. Why are you so aggressive? Wouldn't this make... Ah! Before Lin Ruhai could finish his words, a pain came from his abdomen. Xiao Nani performed a flying kick on Lin Ruhai and sent him flying and sliding for another 2 meters, even when he hit the ground. Your Highness! How dare you be so impudent in front of His Majesty? Lin Ruhai stood up and looked at Xiao Nani coldly. In this case, one didn't manage to kill you, so why should Lord Lin bother about it? Xiao Nanyas's action indicated the same thing happened on his Huan heir. Even she was safe now, but the intention was unforgivable. The few ministers who were about to speak silently shut their mouths. At this moment, Jiang Hong suddenly knelt in front of Emperor Qi Ming. Jiang Hong, what are you trying to do? Emperor Qi Ming only felt a headache when Jiang Hong kneeling in front of him. Your Majesty, my daughter has met with such a calamity without any reason. I beseech you to seek justice on her behalf. Nan Yi, didn't you say you had a way to prove that the snake was released by Princess Zhuoma? How do you plan to prove it? Emperor Qi Ming did not ultimately respond to Xiao Nanyas's conditions, but Xiao Nani did not persist either. With Emperor Qi Ming's words, Xiao Nani suddenly flew towards Princess Zhuoma. You. Chapter 236. How do you know I've let her off before Zhuoma could react? Xiao Nani took the snake flute from her sleeve. Zhuoma was panicked once the snake flute fall into Xiao Nanyas's hand. King Cheng, is this the proof you were talking about? Prince Hachi, you're a wise man. Now, why don't you tell my imperial brother what is this? Xiao Nani didn't look at Zhuoma, but turned his attention to Hachi. Hakai's expression was upset about it. He stepped forward and after bowing to Emperor Qi Ming he announced, Your Majesty, this is indeed the snake flute. One apologize for the lapse in my guidance. Brother, what are you saying? Zhuoma couldn't believe that her brother would admit it so directly. Her eyes were filled with anger. Hachi went forward and slapped Zhuoma's face. With the warning given by Hachi, Zhuoma bit her lips tightly. Princess Zhuoma, do you have anything else to say? At this moment, Emperor Qi Ming questioned her. Plokofner kriva mn vienen armeak tu I inkt wanted tien la inro in the old octmice. Please forgive me, Your Majesty. I just wanted to play a joke on the eldest miss of the Jiang family. Nonsense. Hearing her reason, Emperor Qi Ming's eyes revealed some anger. However, he couldn't just let Xiao Nani kill Zhuoma. So Qi Ming insisted alternative way by asking Jiang Peihuan again. Miss Jiang, how would you like to handle this matter? This has nothing to do with the princess. One was the one who released the snake. Zhuoma's maid, Azu confessed her sin. Xiao Nanyas's expression turned cold upon hearing this. Just a moment ago, you said it wasn't you. Just as she was about to speak again, she felt a sharp pain on her neck. Xiao Nani had cut Azu's neck, leaving a bloody mark. She collapsed to the ground immediately. Is you? Zhuoma's eyes were filled with terror as she watched her maid, Azu, being killed on the spot. Instinctively, she looked toward Xiao Nani, only to see him approaching her step by step. Xiao Nani, stop right there. The seated Emperor Qi Ming, witnessing this scene, urgently spoke out. Jiang Peihuan, I'm asking you. How do you want to handle this? Jiang Peihuan also understood Emperor Qi Ming's thoughts. He was unwilling to kill Princess Zhuoma. Emperor, since Princess Zhuoma said that this was just a joke, then let's end this matter here. Huan heir. Xiao Nani subconsciously frowned. Emperor Qi Ming said with a smile. You are truly magnanimous. Princess Zhuoma, even if this was just a joke, you need to apologize to Miss Jiang. A smile appeared on Emperor Qi Ming's face. With Jiang Peihuan suggesting to let it go, her life was spared. With the command of Emperor Qi Ming, She walked up to Jiang Peihuan and said, "Miss Jiang, I truly apologize." "It's all right." As she spoke, Jian Peihuan smiled and helped Zhuoma up. After a cup of tea, Jian Peihuan left the palace with Xiao Nani and Jiang Hong. "Great General, if you have something to do, go ahead. One will send Huan Er back to the mansion in a while." Seeing that Zhuoma wasn't injured at all, Jiang Hong's eyes were filled with unwillingness. He had rushed back from the military camp. "Thank you, Your Highness," he nodded. Jiang Hong rode away on his horse. After Jiang Hong left, Xiao Nani immediately looked at Jiang Peihuan and said, "Why did you let that woman go? How do you know I spared her?" As she spoke, a faint smile appeared in Jiang Peihuan's eyes. Seeing the smile in her eyes, Xiao Nani's eyes revealed some doubt. "Ah!" At this moment, an ear-piercing scream came from behind. Xiao Nani turned around. He realized that Zhuoma kept scratching her body and face. No matter how much Hachi tried to stop her, it was futile. Hachi finally had no choice but to knock Zhuoma out. It was only then that Zhuoma stopped scratching herself. As Zhuoma passed by Jiang Peihuan, she noticed the blood marks on Zhuoma's face. Watching Zhuoma's condition, Xiao Nanyas knew about her strategy. "Let's go, Huan Er. 111 send you back to the mansion." "Let's not go back to the mansion first. Let's go to the place where the porridge is distributed in the city." "All right." The two headed towards the place where porridge was being given out in the city. When Xiao Nani and Jiang Peihuan arrived, the line was exceptionally long. She realized that most of these faces were unfamiliar, meaning these beggars were not the same ones from last night. "Eldest sister, you're here." Upon seeing Jiang Peihuan, both Jiang Songbai and Jiang Xijin were elated. Jiang Peihuan turned to Deputy General Liu and said, "There are too many people. Open 2 more pots." "Yes, eldest Mississippi. What are you all standing around for? Hurry up and help." At this moment, Han Feng directed the soldiers beside him. The soldiers quickly rushed to help with the tasks. Xiao Nani turned around and saw Han Feng standing there. He looked at him said, "What are you still standing here for? I'll go help too." Han Feng ran over to help too. "Xiao Nani, why don't you return to the mansion first? There are too many people. I'll stay and help you." Before Jiang Peihuan could refuse, she noticed that he had already started giving out orders. Despite the large crowd, Xiao Nani effortlessly gave his instructions. Jiang Peihuan would have been overwhelmed alone, but with Xiao Nani's assistance, things felt much more manageable. A cry reached Jiang Peihuan's. "Grandpa, wake up, we have food. Please wake up." Jiang Peihuan saw 2 children, desperately shaking an old man on the ground. The children looked about 4 or 5 years old. Sorrow flashed in Jiang Peihuan's eyes. She approached them and checked the old man's pulse. The 2 children were initially crying, but they paused momentarily upon seeing Jiang Peihuan. They asked for help repeatedly. "Sister, please save our grandpa." "Deputy General Liu? Eldest miss, find a place to give these 2 children some food and clothes." "Sister, we don't want food or clothes. We just want you to save my grandfather." As she spoke, the 2 children wanted to kneel down again, but Jiang Peihuan held them up. Chapter 237. Xiao Nani makes his move. Help yourself to get something to eat first. 111 Treat your grandfather right away. Only after you've eaten, you have the strength to take care for him. Understand? The 2 children agreed to eat, taking the porridge offered to them by those nearby. After settling the old man on somewhere much proper, Jiang Peihuan took her time to diagnose him properly. "Yi Xiao, go to the pharmacy and fetch some medicine for cold symptoms." "Yes." After Yi Xiao left, Xiao Nani approached Jiang Peihuan. Did this old man catch a cold? Looking at the old man in front of him, Xiao Nani guessed his sickness too. He had overheard Jiang Peihuan's conversation with Yi Xiao. It's not just cold. His body has severe deficiencies. Such deficiencies were the result of prolonged neglect and couldn't be fully cured. Jiang Peihuan returned to the porridge distribution line once she did her best to treat the old man. Despite being in snowy weather, the 2 young children smiled warmly, staying by the side of their unconscious grandfather. Witnessing this, Jiang Peihuan felt a whirlwind of emotions. With her limited power, she couldn't change much. The best she could offer was a bowl of porridge. Master, something happened outside the city. Han Feng suddenly rushed to Xiao Nanya's side. Seeing Han Feng in such a nervous state now made her gaze shift towards him and Xiao Nani. What happened? Many refugees have heard about the porridge distribution inside the city and headed here. The city guards are strictly guarding the gates and have already killed numerous refugees. Xiao Nani. His eyes were filled with unsightly expressions. Huan Er, you stay here and take care of the rest. I'll make a trip. Are you going to the city gate? Jiang Peihuan said directly. 111 go with you. All right. Although Xiao Nani wasn't sure why Jiang Peihuan wanted to come, he wouldn't deny her request. The two rode their horses towards the city gate. Jiang Peihuan had anticipated the severity of the scene at the city gate. Still, it was an awful sight no matter how many times. The capital had 4 gates. Massive crowds of refugees blocked all 4 entrances, east, west, south, and north. Jiang Peihuan and Xiao Nani arrived at the eastern gate, the main entrance. Dozens of bodies already lay near the city gate. The soldiers guarding the door were still attacking the refugee to chase them off. Stop! Xiao Nani shouted. Before his command, the soldiers had already released their arrows. Without hesitation, Xiao Nani deflecting all the arrow with his folding fan. Greetings, King Cheng. Upon seeing the sudden appearance of Xiao Nani, the city guards and officers promptly saluted him. Who gave you the audacity to shoot at the civilians? A complex expression appeared on the officer's face. Your Highness, these rebels wanted to force their way into the city. It could seriously jeopardize the security of the city. One had no choice but to. You are a city's defense officer and yet so incompetent. Perhaps I should just end you. Xiao Nani had already drawn his sword. Mercy, King Cheng. I was only following orders. The officer quickly knelt down. Whose orders? This. Xiao Nani thrusted him slightly as a last warning. Yes, it's General Lin. Open the city gates. Your Highness, you can't. If we open the city gates, won't we let? Oh! Before he could finish his words, he was knocked out by Xiao Nani. Han Feng, who was observing the scene, scoffed. Idiot. Daring to be so obstructive in front of his master. The refugees at the gate instinctively wanted to rush in. Xiao Nani rode his horse, Zhui Yun, out of the gate. Jiang Peihuan, who had been silent, followed closely behind Xiao Nani. Once outside the city, Xiao Nani, still mounted on his horse, addressed the refugees. What do you all intend to do? Are you planning a rebellion? Upon hearing the word rebellion, all the refugees immediately knelt on the ground. Your Highness, we don't intend to rebel. We just want a chance to survive. The snow this year was too heavy. Our crops have failed, yielding almost nothing. People in our village have already died from starvation. We don't want to perish from hunger. We heard that there was a porridge distribution in the city, so we came here. We just want to enter the city for a bowl of porridge. Yes, we just want to survive. By the end, cries erupted among the refugees. Han Feng, go to the mansion and arrange for people to set up a porridge stall at the east gate. All the soldier here must lend their hand as well. Yes. Han Feng replied. Master, we don't know how to handle these matters. The gate soldiers claimed that was not their duty. Sending them to fight in wars, that's familiar. But buying grain and distributing porridge? They've never done that before. If you can't do this or that, what use are you to me? Han Feng was speechless as well. Xiao Nani, do you plan to distribute porridge at the city gate under your name? Jiang Peihuan curiously asked. Yes. I am. Xiao Nani nodded. Don't worry, leave this matter to me. Jiang Peihuan said softly. Go to the mansion and mobilize the people. Everyone will listen to Huan Er's arrangements. If anyone disobeys orders, they will be punished by military law. Yes, Master. Han Feng bowed and prepared to leave. Wait a minute. Jiang Peihuan called Han Feng back. Han Feng immediately pulled over and returned to her. Eldest miss, do you have another order? There isn't much food left in the city. You can look for the young master of the Lu family. Tell him that I need him for help. Roger that. Many merchants began to stock up their grain in order to raise the price later. As the number one merchant, the Liu family would definitely has the most volume. With current situation, it was not a wise move for the merchants to raise the price. Chapter 238, Raising the Grain Price. Although the city gate was open, due to Xiao Nanya's presence at the entrance, the refugees didn't dare to step forward. They had also heard what Xiao Nani just said. With both of their promise to distribute food here, the refugees were filled with hope now. The People Qing mansion arrived very quickly. Jiang Peihuan heard the rhythmic sound of hoofbeats. Han Feng has led the group here. Behind him was a line of carts, all laden with grain. Jiang Peihuan stepped forward, directing the King Qing mansion's people to unload the grain and set up the cooking pots. The grain was quickly cooked, and everything was ready within a quarter of an hour. Looking at the vast crowd, Jiang Peihuan frowned. "Eldest miss, do you have any other instructions?" Han Feng, who had been by Jiang Peihuan's side, immediately approached her upon seeing her concerned expression. "Have them line up, the elder and children first, then the women." "Yes." Han Feng tried to organize the refugees into lines, but they were unfamiliar with such order. There was troublemaker disobeyed Jiang Peihuan's instructed. Without negotiation, Han Feng taught him a lesson. With the scenario, everyone started to queue up properly. The queues for each line were so long they seemed endless even with 5 large pots ready. More and more people kept arriving from other gates. Huan Air. Jiang Peihuan searched around once she heard the voice was calling her. Jiang Changbai has returned from the military camp. Beside him were Xueqi and Xuezhi. Elder brother, cousin Qi, cousin Ji. Upon seeing the three of them, Jiang Peihuan stepped forward and bowed. Huan Air, ain't the food station was inside the city? Why are you doing here? As he spoke, Jiang Changbai looked around. Jiang Shangbai's eyes were filled with worry. Elder brother, if there's nothing else, you can stay and help. After Jiang Peihuan briefly explained the matter, she looked at Jiang Changbai and said, "All right, I'll help too." Huan Air, we can help too. Xueqi and Xuezhi, who were at the side, also agreed to help. With their help, 3 more big pots were added. The entire entrance to the city was filled with the aroma of porridge. The refugees who received their porridge had tears in their eyes. "Eldest miss, if this continues, we'll run out of grain." Han Feng approached Jiang Peihuan and whispered. Even though they had bought a lot of grain from the Liu family's shop, it wasn't enough for every tummy to fill up. "Eldest miss, should one return to the Liu family's shop to buy more grain? We can't rely on the Liu family for now." Jiang Peihuan had already taken a large amount of food and cotton clothes from the Liu family. If she took more, even the Liu family would not be able to bear it. "Have you gone to other shops to check on the situation?" Jiang Peihuan said softly. "Yes, but the other merchants are offering extremely high prices. Only the Liu family's shops are selling at usual price." Liu family's shop was running out of stock soon. After a moment of silence, Jiang Peihuan looked at Han Feng and said, "Let's go to the city to buy food." "Yes, miss. You stay here and guard. I will take Han Feng to the city to buy food." Jiang Peihuan needed Xiao Nani to keep things in order. "All right. Do you have enough money?" Xiao Nani asked Jiang Peihuan before she took her leave. "Don't worry, there's still quite a lot of money you gave me earlier." After saying that, Jiang Peihuan rode her horse towards the city. Once in the city, she first checked on the porridge distribution situation at the general's mansion. Jiang Peihuan, accompanied by Han Feng, proceeded to the city's grain shop. "Eldest miss, are you here to buy grain?" When the shopkeeper saw Jiang Peihuan enter, his eyes were full of smiles. He was well aware of the general's mansion's porridge distribution in the city. The more porridge distributed, the more grain she would need, which meant more profits for them. "Yes, I'm here for the grain." Jiang Peihuan nodded with a smile. "Shopkeeper, what's the price for this grain?" "Eldest miss, this grain has better quality. Therefore, the price is a bit higher compared to regular grain, 200 won per jin." 200 won? Jiang Peihuan's eyes were filled with unsightly expressions. In the past, a jin of grain was only 50 copper coins, and it shared the same quality. Eldest miss, you knows that rice are rare now, so? Perhaps the shopkeeper also realized the expression of Jiang Peihuan. So you merchants can capitalize on the situation, profiting from the nation's crisis? Jiang Peihuan interrupted him before he could finish. Upon hearing her words, the shopkeeper started to panic. Eldest miss, why say such things? Every shop in the capital is raising prices. The Lu family shop hasn't. Han Feng, who was beside Jiang Peihuan, remarked coldly. They are simply naive. Although the shopkeeper's muttering voice was very soft, Jiang Peihuan and Han Feng were both martial arts practitioners and had excellent hearing, so they could still hear it clearly. Jiang Peihuan's eyes revealed a bit of gloominess. Initially, she planned to negotiate reasonably, but now it seemed futile. Let me be direct. The grain we buy today is for Qingcheng. There are hundreds of thousands of refugees there. Do you still want to charge 201 today? This. Eldest miss, please don't make things difficult for me. So you are sticking to that price? Jiang Peihuan's smile remained, but her eyes had given the shopkeeper a warning signal. Eldest miss, why bother talking so much to him? If our master were here, he would probably be dead by now. He only dragging this out because you are too kind. I'll only ask you once. Are you going to lower the price of grain or not? Han Feng pulled out his sword and pointed it at the shopkeeper's neck. What do you want? You. Ah. Before the shopkeeper could finish his words, Han Feng's sword had already cut his arm. Are you going to lower the price or not? Han Feng's sword was aimed at the shopkeeper's other hand. One don't have the final say. This shop isn't mine. I'm just following orders. Then can you tell me, whose shop is this? It belongs to the Lin family. Chapter 239. Buying grain. Jiang Peihuan couldn't help but frown. It was Lin family's act again. Han Feng, load all the grains in the store. At your service. Han Feng acted once he heard Jiang Peihuan's order. The shopkeeper walked to Jiang Peihuan's side and said with pleading eyes, Miss Jiang, you can't take like this one. I will pay according to the market price. You may report it to the Lin family. Just say that one bought all. Jiang Peihuan left the shop directly after Han Feng, and the other servants moved all the available grains in the shop. The Lu family was the first family aware about Jiang Peihuan's movement. Miss Jiang. When Jiang Peihuan on her way back, she saw Lu Hao coming over. Cousin from the Lu family, thank you so much for your help this time. Jiang Peihuan was genuinely grateful when she met Lu Hao for all the contribution by the Lu family. It's just a minor effort on our part. Lu Hao quickly replied. Miss Jiang, did you bought these grains from the Lin family's shop? Their grain is quite expensive now. If you need grains, I can have some sent to you. Cousin Lu, thank you for your kindness, but I can't keep taking grains from the Lu family. Once or twice is fine, but I can't always bother you. Besides, the grains behind me were purchased at the regular price. Regular price? Lu Hao was confused. Young Master Lu, these grains are bought by our Cheng Mansion's mistress, who would dare to raise the price. Han Feng reported proudly to Lu Hao. I see. Cousin Lu, I need to get these grains to the city gate quickly, so we'll take my leave now. Have a safe journey, Miss Jiang. Lu Hao immediately stepped aside. Jiang Peihuan rode Lai Feng along with Han Feng and their servants to the city gate. Quickly, prepare the carriage. One need to go to the Lin mansion. Once Jiang Peihuan and Han Feng left, the shopkeeper immediately rushed to the Lin family. Lin mansion. At Lin Ruhai's study hall. How preposterous. What right does she have? She has crossed the line too far. Lin Ruhai's eyes were filled with fury after learned about the event. The shopkeeper at the side trembled in fear, and did not dare to say a word. Father, this can be considered a good thing. Let's just ignore it. Lin Mengyao saw the anger in Lin Ruhai's eyes and gently advised him. Ever since Lin Mengyao became Xiao Junhao's side consort, and he was no longer the favorite servant of Emperor Qi Ming, Lin Ruhai's attitude towards Lin Mengyao had changed. This incident has caused our family financial loss. How can we just let it go? Father, the grain was taken away on the orders of King Cheng. If the emperor heard about the raised price of food without his command, he might. We aren't the only ones doing this. You don't have to say anymore. I want to see what the people from Chung Mansion has to do about our loss. Watching his retreating figure, Lin Mingio's expression turned gloomy. At the city gates, when Jiang Peihuan arrived, the previous grain supplies were almost depleted. With new supply of the grain on the carts behind Jiang Peihuan, everyone heaved a sigh of relief. Eldest miss, someone seems to be approaching. Due to the cart she was escorting, Jiang Peihuan moved slower. Just as she had the grains unloaded, she heard Han Feng's voice. It was none other than Lin Ruhai. Lin Ruhai dismounted his horse. Lin Ruhai's was here for his grain. Miss Jiang, isn't it inappropriate for you to threat my staffs and took away my product from my shop by force? Lord Lin must be joking. I paid for them. With the usual market price, you mean? Miss Jiang, don't you know the price now? Do you know the difference between trading and robbing like a bandit? Bandit? Is Lord Lin accusing me of robbing you? Before Jiang Peihuan could speak, a low voice came from behind her. Xiao Nani walked over when heard Jiang Peihuan's and Lin Ruhai's voice. Xueqi and Xuezhi wanted to come over. However, they were stopped by Jiang Changbai. Don't worry, let His Highness handle it. Xiao Nani walked to Jian Peihuan's side and looked at Lin Ruhai coldly. What is Lord Lin doing here? Greetings, King Cheng. Facing Xiao Nani, Lin Ruhai has to pay his respect. Your Highness, while distributing porridge is a charitable act, using my family's grain for it without paying the actual amount is akin to robbery. 111 have to appeal to the Emperor. Robbery? So it's okay for Mr. Lin to exploit others but not the other way around? 5Z_Jiang Peihuan spoke out. What do you mean by that, Miss Jiang? Xiao Nani wanted to intervene but was held back by Jiang Peihuan's gesture. Xiao Nani remained silent, though his gaze toward Lin Ruhai was cold. Mr. Lin, do you remember how you earned your official title? Do you remember your Lin Xingqian? With every word from Jiang Peihuan, Lin Ruhai's anger was raising. You. Chapter 240. The confrontation in the Qianqing Palace. Lin Ruhai wanted to say something, but he could not say a word. He stared intently at Jiang Peihuan. How did you know? General Lin, it was extremely hard to keep any secret. There are few secrets in this world that remain unknown. Han Feng, call Lin Xingqian over. Yes. Xiao Nani looked at Lin Ruhai. Didn't Lord Lin want to seek judgment from the Emperor? Let's go now. Huan Heir, I'll leave you in charge of here. Xiao Nani looked at Jian Peihuan and said softly, if everything was entangled, Emperor Qi Ming would have other thoughts. So she decided to not involve in this matter. She nodded and let her man sorted it out. Then, Xiao Nani rode on Zhui Yun and headed towards the palace. In the Imperial Palace. At Qianqing Palace. Your Majesty, His Highness King Cheng is here. Wang Kuren made his report to Emperor Qi Ming upon hearing Wang Kun's words. Emperor Qi Ming put down the pen in his hand and asked, why is he here again? What has he come for this time? He seems to have some pressing matters to discuss, involving both Your Majesty and Lord Lin. Hearing this, a hint of curiosity appeared in Emperor Qi Ming's eyes. Lord Lin. All right. Let them in. Yes, Your Majesty. Wang Kuan went to the palace entrance and addressed Xiao Nani. Your Highness, the Emperor invites you in. Okay. Xiao Nani stepped into the Qianqing Palace. Lin Ruhai had long forgotten the matter about the grain. At this moment his full attention was on Lin Xingqian beside him. Lin Xingqian exuded a cold aura. Following Xiao Nani and then paid his respects. Greetings, Your Majesty. What is this about? Emperor Qi Ming spoke calmly. However, his gaze landed squarely on Xiao Nani. Your Majesty, one beg for your intervention. Lin Ruhai recalled the main reason for his visit. Kneeling on the ground, he repeatedly begging and lamenting about Jiang Peihuan's wrongdoings. Are you implying Jiang Peihuan stole the grain from your store to distribute porridge? Yes. I beseech Your Majesty to act justly. Imperial brother, that grain has nothing to do with Huan Heir. It was my decision. Moreover, one paid for them. Xiao Nani mentioned about the payment. Your Majesty, what King Cheng paid is far below from the market price. He Lord Lin, do you have the audacity to speak of your profiteering during a national crisis in front of my imperial brother? What is going on here? Hearing the voices of the two, Emperor Qi Ming frowned. Lin Ruhai, who was beside him, was about to speak subconsciously, but before he could, Emperor Qi Ming said directly, "Shut up." After saying that, Emperor Qi Ming looked at Xiao Nani and said, "Tell me what happened." Imperial brother, there are tens of thousands of refugees outside the city now. Many families in the city have started to give out porridge, but some unscrupulous shops have taken the opportunity to raise the price. Lord Lin is one of them. Lin Ruhai, is this true? Hearing Xiao Nanya's allegations, Emperor Qi Ming's questioned Lin Ruhai to explain his intention. Lin Ruhai's heart pounded wildly when he saw the expression of the emperor. Your Majesty, am not the only one. All merchants in the market have increased their prices. Explain to me why Lu family selling their grain at the usual price. It's fine if you raise the grain price, business is about profit. But you actually sent people to the Lu family's shop to buy as many as you could to monopolize the market, so you could control the price. Before Lin Ruhai could finish his sentence, Xiao Nani interrupted him coldly. Lin Ruhai's eyes were filled with shock when he heard Xiao Nanya's words. No one should have knew about this. Lin Ruhai, how dare you? Emperor Qi Ming looked at the person kneeling on the ground, his eyes filled with anger. And who is this? Meanwhile, Emperor Qi Ming also saw Lin Xingchen. Imperial brother, he is under my command, but he is also the only remaining descendant of the Lin family's direct bloodline. A direct descendant of the Lin family? What is your name? How are you related to Lin Tianyang? I am Lin Xingchen. Lin Tianyang is my father. You're Lin Tianyang's son? Raise your head. Upon Emperor Qi Ming's command, Lin Xingchen raised his head. Seeing his features, Emperor Qi Ming exclaimed, the resemblance is uncanny. If you are truly the son of Lin Tianyang, why have I never heard of you all these years? Your Majesty, about that. Silence. I didn't ask you anything. Upon hearing the conversation between Emperor Qi Ming and Lin Xingchen, a look of urgency filled Lin Ruhai's eyes on the side. He instinctively wanted to speak, but just as he opened his mouth, he was rebuked by Emperor Qi Ming. Your Majesty, when my father was gravely ill, Lord Lin took the opportunity to seize the Lin family's property. My legitimate lineage dwindled from then on. As for myself, if not for the few loyal servants by my side, the direct line of the Lin family would have been extinct long ago. You're lying. Upon hearing Lin Xingchen's words, Lin Ruahai couldn't hold back any longer. Pointing at Lin Xingchen, he looked towards Emperor Qi Ming, saying anxiously, Your Majesty, these are merely his one-sided words. When my cousin was gravely ill years ago, I became the head of the Lin family because it was his dying wish. All these years one have always been looking for Xingchen. You've indeed been looking for me. Your goal in looking for me is to eliminate me completely. These are all your own words. Do you have any evidence? Lin Xingchen, I ask you, do you have evidence for what you've said? Upon hearing the two's words, Emperor Qi Ming fell into silence. After a brief moment, he looked at Lin Xingchen and spoke. In Emperor Qi Ming's eyes, there was a mixture of emotions as he spoke. Your Majesty, one have no proof. Your Majesty, I have evidence. At this moment, a voice from outside the hall echoed. It was Jiang Peihuan. Upon hearing that voice, Emperor Qi Ming spoke directly. Why is she everywhere? Wang Kuan, go and let her in. Yes. Wang Kuan hurriedly walked to the entrance of the hall, looking at Jiang Peihuan and Lin Mingxin standing there. Thank you, Chief Wang. Wang Kuan smiled and said, Miss, the Emperor is waiting for you. Jiang Peihuan glanced at Lin Mingxin, and then brought her in together. We Jiang Peihuan and Lin Mingxin greet your Majesty. Once inside, Jiang Peihuan immediately knelt in a gesture of respect. Why have you come here? Chapter 241. Lin Mingxin as witness. To your Majesty, the matter concerning the rice and grain today can be said to have arisen because of me, so I came. Jiang Peihuan began. You mentioned you have evidence. What do you have here? Your Majesty, this is the daughter from the third branch of the Lin family. She can confirm the truth of Lin Xingqian's words. Jiang Peihuan turned to Lin Mingxin beside her and said, Mingxin, who allowed you to come here? Were you threatened by someone? As he uttered the last sentence, Lin Ruhai glaring intently at Jiang Peihuan. However, she seemed completely unconcerned by his gaze. Brother Xingqian? When Lin Mingxin first arrived, her eyes were filled with fear. When she kneeling beside Lin Xingqian, her eyes instantly welled up with tears, yet they sparkled with joy. Lin Xingqian remained silent when he saw her, clenching his fists even tighter. Your Majesty, Brother Xingqian was originally the rightful heir of the Lin family, but he was too young at the time, so all the household matters were handed over to our great-uncle. After bowing to Emperor Qi Ming, Lin Mingxin began in a soft voice. As Brother Xingqian grew older, one by one, the people around him started to die, and eventually Brother Xingqian disappeared as well. Your Highness, it's the Lin family betrayed Brother Xingqian. It was our family that seized everything that belonged to him. It was... Lin Mingxin, watch your mouth. When Lin Ruhai heard Lin Mingxin's words, his eyes were filled with viciousness. He rushed forward and kicked Lin Mingxin's chest, causing her to spit out a mouthful of blood. Lin Ruhai, how dare you? Emperor Qi Ming's eyes were filled with anger. Xiao Nani quickly stepped forward and tackled Lin Ruhai's down to prevent him further harming Lin Mingxin. Xiao Nani pulled out his sword and aimed it at his neck. How dare you be so impudent in front of me and my imperial brother? Do you believe that one will kill you now? Xian? Looking at the pale Lin Mingxin, Lin Xingqian went up to hold her in his arm. Brother Xingqian, you don't know. After you left, there was no one to protect Xian anymore. Miss Lin, don't say anything. Stay still. Seeing that she has internal bleeding and every sentence she spoke caused her to cough blood, Jiang Peihuan quickly stopped her. Your Majesty, Miss Lin is seriously injured. Can you allow me to treat her here? You know about medical? I know a little. Jiang Peihuan did not want to expose her medical skills in the palace, but Lin Mingxin's current situation was critical. Lin Xingqian helped Jiang Peihuan to carry Lin Mingxin to a side for treatment. After all, Lin Ruhai was a general survived many battlefields, while Lin Mingxin was only a normal 13-years-old girl. Lin Ruhai was determined to kill Lin Mingxin directly, so he didn't held back in that kick. Examined her condition through her pulse, Jiang Peihuan's eyes were filled with worry. Nani, send someone to my courtyard and bring me the 1,000-year-old ginseng you gave me. You knows where I have keep it. All right, I'll get Han Feng to go. Your Majesty, please allow me to go with guard Han. Xiao Nani nodded. Where's Lin Ruhai? Jiang Peihuan looked at Xiao Nani and asked softly when she was performing acupuncture on Lin Mingxin. There's someone watching him, don't worry. Hearing this, Jiang Peihuan was relieved. Although Lin Ruhai was not the main culprit who harmed the Jiang family, he was still an accomplice. Jiang Peihuan did not expect to find an opportunity this time. Outside the palace, Han Feng, looking at the figure ahead, couldn't help but call out. You're running so fast, do you know where the eldest Miss Courtyard is? Han Feng's speed was considered very fast among the marital arts expert. Today he has witnessed a speed upon his imagination displayed by Lin Xingqian. Han Feng finally understood what is true speed. The two of them arrived outside the plum garden. Lin Xingqian was surprised by Han Feng's action to enter the courtyard like a thief by climbing over the wall instead using the main entrance and the walk path. Who's there? You happen to be cleaning the courtyard at this hour. It's me. Guard Han, you again? I'm here on the eldest miss orders to retrieve the 1,000-year-old ginseng. All right, please wait a moment. 111, fetch it. Be quick, the eldest miss is waiting. Okay. Nodding, Yu quickly lifted her skirt and walked into the storeroom. Moments later, she came out with a black box and handed it to Han Feng. Thank you. Han Feng said. After thanking Yu, Han Feng and Lin Xingqian once again vaulted over the wall and left. Watching their departing figures, Yu's eyes were filled with helplessness. Han Feng and Lin Xingqian, having left, headed directly towards the imperial palace. Halfway there, Lin Xingqian abruptly snatched the box from Han Feng's hands, saying, You're too slow. I'm going ahead. Han Feng was speechless after being criticized for his slowness. In the imperial palace. What? How are you so fast? Where is Han Feng? Jiang Paihuan's eyes were full of surprise. Lin Xingqian did not speak. He just carefully handed the box in her hand to Jiang Peihuan. Jiang Peihuan took the box from him and opened it. She carefully cut off a piece of ginseng and stuffed it into Lin Mingxin's mouth. Jiang Paihuan's performed the acupuncture again and again. A moment later, Lin Mingxin opened her eyes. Don't speak first, you are still under treatment. Upon hearing Jiang Paihuan's words, Lin Mingxin looked at her gratefully, and then did not make a sound. Help her up. Yes. Lin Xingqian immediately stepped forward and helped Lin Mingxin up. Jiang Peihuan walked to her back and continued with the acupuncture. When Lin Mingxin's back was covered with silver needles, she could not hold it in any longer, and spat out a mouthful of blood. All right, after spitting out this blood clot, you only need to pay attention to recuperating, and you will be able to recover. Thank you, Miss Jiang. There's no need to thank me. If it wasn't for me bringing you here, you wouldn't have suffered this much pain today. When she said this, there was a hint of guilt in Jiang Paihuan's eyes, but when Lin Mingxin heard this, her eyes were full of anxiety. Miss Jiang, please don't say that. I am very grateful that you brought me here. I'm not favored in the residence. Even the maids can bully me. Brother Xingqian has always been protecting me. Now one can finally protect him. As she spoke, Lin Mingxin looked at Lin Xingqian. The entire Lin mansion will probably treat me as an enemy. Jiang Peihuan had already told Lin Mingxin the outcome when she revealed the truth to the emperor. It's all right. As long as one can help Brother Xingqian, I'm willing to do anything. Lin Mingxin smiled nonchalantly. I won't let them bully you any longer starting now. Lin Xingqian made his promise to protect her. Chapter 242. Lin Ruhai was punished all right. Hearing Lin Xingqian's words, Lin Mingxin's eyes were filled with smiles. Be careful. After Lin Mingxin fell asleep, the servants took her out. After all, not everyone was qualified to recuperate in the imperial palace. Miss Jiang, thank you. Lin Xingqian looked at Jian Peihuan and thanked her softly. Jiang Peihuan smiled and said nothing. Don't forget, things aren't over yet. As she spoke, Jiang Peihuan and Xiao Nani entered the Qianqing Palace with Lin Xingqian following behind. When Jiang Peihuan entered the inner hall, she saw Lin Ruhai still kneeling, seemingly lost in thought, while Emperor Qi Ming sat on his throne, staring at him with a gloomy look. Emperor Qi Ming had not expected to find such a character among his servants. Lin Ruhai, do you have anything else to reveal? Upon seeing Xiao Nani and the others enter, Emperor Qi Ming directly addressed Lin Ruhai. Your Majesty, this is just their side of the story. One became the head of the Lin family, because my cousin entrusted me to. Lord Lin, we already have testimony from Miss Lin. Do you still insist on defending yourself? Unable to contain herself after hearing Lin Ruhai's words, Jiang Peihuan spoke with coldness in her eyes. Upon hearing Jiang Peihuan, Lin Ruhai immediately responded. Xian has always been close to Xingqian since they were children. It's not impossible for her to lie for him. Regardless, he couldn't admit guilt. If he did, not only might he lose his position, but perhaps even his life. Jiang Peihuan seemed to have anticipated this response. Jiang Peihuan, she even smiled a little. She looked at Lin Ruhai and said lightly, Lord Lin, do you really think that we have no other evidence besides certification? What other evidence do you have? At this point, panic was evident in Lin Ruhai's eyes. Neither spoke for a while. Xiao Nanya's eyes were filled with admiration. Such an outstanding woman would be his in a month. Joy filled Xiao Nanya's heart. At the same time, she felt his joyful staring, but now she has to focus on Lin Ruhai. Lord Lin, since you claim that your position as head of the Lin family was given to you by General Lin, he must have handed over the Lin family's private seal to you, right? This. Lin Ruhai searched everywhere for this private seal, but could not find it till today. I don't have the seal. It's because my cousin didn't hand it over to me. Lin Xingqian, do you have your father's private seal? Of course. Upon hearing Jiang Peihuan's words, Lin Xingqian responded loudly. Approaching Emperor Qi Ming, Lin Xingqian immediately knelt down and took off a jade pendant from around his neck. The jade pendant seemed ordinary, but when Lin Xingqian split it apart, it cleanly broke in half. Next, Lin Xingqian combined the two pieces into a seal. Lin Xingqian offered the seal with both hands. Your Majesty, please take a look. This is my father's private seal. How is this possible? Lin Ruhai had searched the entire Lin mansion in the past, and even now, he still had people looking for it. Lin Ruhai never imagined the ingenuity behind Lin Tianyang's seal. When Lin Xingqian was young, Lin Ruhai had seen the jade pendant around his neck numerous times. But he only regarded it as a simple jade pendant, never suspecting that it was the seal he had been yearning for. Emperor Qi Ming took the seal from Lin Xingqian, a trace of nostalgia in his eyes. Back when he was still a prince, many court officials did not hold him in high regard. Among those who showed him respect and courtesy, aside from Jiang Hong, was Lin Xingqian's father, Lin Tianyang. Gently caressing the seal in his hand, Emperor Qi Ming turned to look at Lin Ruhai, his eyes filled with anger. Lin Ruhai, you are audacious. Your Majesty, I am innocent, Silence. Emperor Qi Ming sternly rebuked him. This seal can prove that it's Lin Tianyang's private seal. Don't tell me you still want to say that I am being unfair to you. Your Majesty, one was only confused for a moment. Please spare me. Aware of his dire situation, Lin Ruhai quickly knelt and begged for mercy. Emperor Qi Ming remained silent. Lin Ruhai continued. Your Majesty, over the years, even if one haven't had merits, one have had hard work. Please spare me. Lin Xingqian wanted to interject, but Jiang Peihuan tugged firmly at his sleeve. They could expose Lin Ruhai's deeds, but they couldn't decide his fate on behalf of Emperor Qi Ming. Lin Xingqian silently closed his mouth and knelt in silence. After a long pause, Emperor Qi Ming finally addressed Lin Ruhai. From now on you are no longer the master of the Lin mansion, nor are you a general. Your Majesty? Out of respect for Lin Tianyang, one won't end your life. However, one will exile you to the northern border. You will remain there from now on. Your Majesty. Disbelief filled Lin Ruhai's eyes. He had lost everything. Everything he had worked so hard for was gone. Lin Xingqian, starting from today, you will replace Lin Ruhai. The position of the Lin family belongs to yours. I hope you can honor your father's legacy and serve the Qi kingdom well. Thank you, Your Highness. Hearing Emperor Qi Ming's words, Lin Xingqian knelt and bowed deeply. After all the commotion, Emperor Qi Ming looked tired. Having arranged everything, he turned to Xiao Nani and said, All right, you may leave. Soon after, Lin Ruhai was taken away. As he was led away, Lin Ruhai's gaze fixed on Jiang Peihuan. However, she never paid him any attention at all. The imperial decree quickly reached the Lin mansion. Chaos ensued within the Lin household. Where is my father now? Lin Mingyao handed a pouch to the eunuch who delivered the decree. The young eunuch weighed the pouch in his hand and whispered back. Master Lin is currently in the Dali Temple. The Dali Temple was where the court's major criminals were held. Hearing this, worry filled Lin Mingyao's eyes. Chapter 243. An unforeseen change in Lin Mansion. Yao heir, what should we do? Your father has been imprisoned, and now we have nothing left. Yao heir, why don't you go and plead with Prince Qing? You are his concubine in name. If you ask him, he will surely help. Mother, the decree was issued by the emperor. Even if it's the prince, he might not be able to do much. At this time, Lin Mingyao would definitely not go to Xiao Juanhao. The Lin family is no longer reliable, and in the future, the only one she could rely on is the Qing mansion. At this moment, a commotion reached Lin Mingyao's ears. Kill her, the traitor. We provided foods for you, clothed and fed you, yet you dare do this. Yes, beat her up. If it weren't for her, we wouldn't be kicked out. Following the noise, Lin Mingyao looked over. It turned out that people from the second house were beating and berating Lin Mingxin. Lin Mingxin had been dragged from her bed, and her eyes were filled with terror. You all, please stop. A haggard-faced woman shielded Lin Mingxin, tears filling her eyes. She was Aunt Lin, a mere concubine, and couldn't do much. Aunt. This was not the first time Lin Mingxin had been beaten by these people, so she was not particularly bothered. As long as she could help brother Xingchen. Even if she was abused by these people, she did not care. But seeing Madame Lin defending her, tears filled her eyes. Father. At this time, Lin Mingxin couldn't help but look towards her father. But Lord Lin was a mere illegitimate son of the Lin family, and naturally wouldn't defend his illegitimate daughter. Hearing Lin Mingxin's words, he coldly said, "As a member of the Lin family, you betray our trust. You. Father, brother Xingchen is also a member of the Lin family. This has always been his home." Without waiting for her father to finish, Lin Mingxin interrupted him. Upon hearing this, Lord Lin's eyes were filled with anger. He glared at Lin Mingxin, saying, "You dare to speak." As he spoke, he raised his hand, intending to slap Lin Mingxin. Lin Mingxin closed her eyes in fear. However, the anticipated pain didn't come. She opened her eyes. She saw Lin Xingchen standing in front of her. "Brother Xingchen? What are you doing?" Lin Xingchen's hand tightly gripped Lord Lin's wrist. Hearing Lin Mingxin's voice, he forcefully flung him away. As Lin Xingchen's words fell, the soldiers behind him immediately stepped forward. These soldiers were the ones who had once been bandits with Lin Xingchen. All of them were also members of the Lin family. Now, looking at those who had wronged their master, anger filled each of their eyes. People from the Lin family's main house and the third house were directly pushed away. "Are you all right?" Getting Lin Mingxin up from the ground, Lin Xingchen spoke softly. "I'm fine." A smile covered Lin Mingxin's face. "Xingchen, it's good to see you still alive." At this moment, Lin Mingyao walked up to Lin Xingchen. Looking at this so-called cousin, Lin Xingchen's eyes were cold. "I'm sorry to disappointed you." Lin Mengio's expression stiffened, but she still maintained a smile, saying, "Xingchen, we're all family. You. From the moment I was expelled from the Lin family, Lin Ruhai seized everything that belonged to my father. We were no longer family. So please leave immediately." "Xingchen, must you be so heartless? Houses in the capital are astronomically expensive. Aside from this mansion, the Lin family's other properties are all in the countryside. Moreover, at this moment, even if they wanted to buy another house, they have no money. But as long as they're in the Lin mansion, they still consider themselves members of the Lin family." Regarding Lin Ruhai's actions, Lin Mingyao wasn't particularly upset. However, in a month, she's set to marry into the Qing mansion. She must stay here. Upon hearing Lin Mengio's words, Lin Xingchen responded with a light chuckle. While there was a smile on his face, Lin Xingchen's eyes did not show the slightest hint of mirth. Looking at Lin Mingyao, he whispered, "Cousin Meng, while others may not see your true colors, do you think I don't? Before I change my mind, it's best you took your belongings and leave peacefully. Otherwise, I'll ensure you leave everything behind, not even a single thread. After all, these things belonged to my father, didn't they? You. Xingchen, could it be that you have some misunderstanding about me?" Anger flashed in Lin Mengio's eyes, but thinking of her own intentions, she forced herself to suppress it, squeezing out a smile for Lin Xingchen. Lin Xingchen's patience had run out. Looking at Lin Mingyao, he bluntly asked, "Cousin Meng, did Shui Er really drown herself?" Her face turned pale at his simple question. The mocking look in Lin Xingchen's eyes deepened. In his youth, Lin Xingchen had been very fond to Lin Mingyao, until he witnessed this nice cousin unblinkingly push a young maid into a river. That's when he realized how naive he had been. Back then, Lin Mingyao was only 8 years old. Her reason for such cruelty? The maid was more beautiful than her. It was winter. The young maid was pushed into the river, and was quickly consumed by the icy water. Lin Mingyao stood by the riverbank, watching Shui Er drown, even wearing a smile. That scene left a deep scar in Lin Xingchen's heart. Other than Xian and Aunt Lin, expel everyone from the mansion. Yes. With Lin Xingchen's order, everyone in the Lin mansion was driven out. Outside the Lin mansion gates. "Eldest miss, it seems like they are from the Lin mansion." Jiang Peihuan and Xiao Nani were sitting in a carriage. They had just left the city after distributing porridge. The snow outside was getting heavier, And Xiao Nani didn't allow Jiang Peihuan to ride a horse, hence they took the carriage. They had just started when the carriage was halted. Yi Xiao's voice came from outside. Jiang Peihuan couldn't help but lift the curtain. She happened to see Lin Mingyao coming out with her luggage. Both of them looked at each other's. When their eyes met, Lin Mingyao's eyes were filled with complicated emotions. She had always compared herself to Jiang Peihuan, always thinking that one day she'd look down upon her. However, she noticed that the gap between them seemed to grow wider. Lin Mingyao even saw Xiao Nani, who stood above everyone else but under one, the imperial uncle, handing Jiang Peihuan a cup of water with such gentleness. Be careful of the cold. Chapter 244. Lin Mingyao was kicked out of the Lin mansion inside the carriage. Xiao Nani did not even look outside. After he handed the teacup in his hand to Jiang Peihuan, he immediately pulled down the curtain. Han Feng, tell them to move aside. Xiao Nani ordered Han Feng. Yes, Your Highness. The carriage moved on quickly as the Lin family members were all pushed to the sides of the road. Madame Lin stayed beside Lin Mingyao the whole time. Watching the departing carriage, she couldn't help but rub her arms. Yao Heir, what should we do next? Where will we stay? And can we find a carriage first? It's so cold. Voices kept ringing in her ears, but Lin Mingyao's gaze involuntarily landed on Jiang Peihuan's carriage. It was only when the carriage disappeared around the corner that Lin Mingyao shifted her gaze away. As for the matters of the Lin family, Jiang Peihuan didn't care. They would have no connection with her anymore. The carriage went straight to Plum Garden. Just as Jiang Peihuan was about to alight, she noticed that Xiao Nani had already stepped out and was extending his hand towards her. After taking the man's hand and getting out of the carriage, Jiang Peihuan said to Yi Xiao, "Ask the kitchen to prepare some hot soup." "Yes, Mississippi. Go in and sit first. It's too cold outside." After Yi Xiao left, Jiang Peihuan turned her attention to Xiao Nani. The man remained silent, nodding, and followed Jiang Peihuan into a nearby hall. As soon as Jiang Peihuan entered, a white shadow pounced on her. Jiang Peihuan stretched out her arms and embraced it. "Xiao Bai, your leg hasn't healed yet. Don't move too much, understand?" While holding Xiao Bai, Jiang Peihuan carefully checked its injuries. Seeing that the wound was not serious, Xiao Bai stuck out his tongue and licked her hand. 111 Have someone build a wooden house for it in the mansion, she said. Sitting opposite Jiang Peihuan, Xiao Nani observed Xiao Bai's actions and quietly remarked to Jiang Peihuan. Seeing her look of confusion, he explained, "When we get married, Xiao Bai will certainly come with us to the mansion. That's why I'm arranging a house for it." "No need, just let it stay in the room. A grown white wolf can weigh up to 300 pounds. You want it in the room?" This cuddy. Xiao Bai, still a young wolf cub in her arms, Jiang Peihuan hesitated. She could hold the current Xiao Bai with both arms and had not really considered what a 300-pound Xiao Bai would look like. "We need to stop feeding Xiao Bai cooked food. It's a wolf, after all, we cannot raise it like a dog." Initially, when Jiang Peihuan brought Xiao Bai home, Xiao Nani intended it to protect her. The incident with the colorful snake proved Xiao Bai's loyalty. But looking at the grilled meat on the ground, Xiao Nani's eyes showed a hint of helplessness. It was a wolf without any wild nature. Jiang Peihuan continuously staring at him. Xiao Nani's voice grew softer. "This is for Xiao Bai's own good. Though it likes you, it is still a wolf. Yes, you're right. I'll ask you, heir, to gradually prepare raw meat for it. Miss, the hot soup is ready." At this moment, Jian Peihuan's door was pushed open and Yi Xiao walked in with 2 bowls of hot soup and some pastries. After placing the items on the table, Yi Xiao left. Xiao Bai became alert. Jiang Peihuan knew it wanted some. Normally, she would have fed it already, but she placed Xiao Bai on the ground, saying, "It's sweet, you can't eat it." Xiao Bai whimpered. "If you keep whining, out you go." Xiao Nani passed the tableware to Jiang Peihuan. Hearing Xiao Bai's whimper, he spoke sternly. It immediately lay quietly in a corner. "Aren't you drinking?" Taking the soup spoon from Xiao Nani's hand, Jiang Peihuan noticed that he hadn't touched his food. A trace of confusion flashed in her eyes. "I'll drink." Upon hearing Jiang Paihuan's words, Xiao Nani picked up his utensils. He didn't particularly enjoy sweets. However, seeing the relaxed expression on Jiang Paihuan's face, he still tasted the sweet soup. Give it a try. Jiang Peihuan had noticed long ago that Xiao Nani didn't have a penchant for overly sweet things. Upon her recommendation, Xiao Nani took a sip of the soup. Its taste was unlike any he had tried before. It was mildly sweet, but the aroma was pronounced. He softly commented, "The flavor of this sweet soup is quite good. This is a special recipe my mother prepared for my father. In the past, during winter in the military camp, my father used to cough a lot. My mother would make this sweet soup. Since my father was not fond of sweets, she added only a little sweetness." The First Lady and the great general shared deep affection. Hearing Xiao Nani's words, a hint of a smile appeared in Jiang Paihuan's eyes. In her previous life, her entire Jiang family tragically perished, and Jiang Peihuan initially vowed never to trust men again. But every time she saw Jiang Hong and Shui Yan, she believed that there were still people in this world who cherished love, just like her father and mother, or her third uncle and third aunt. "Young miss, it's getting late. You should rest." The door was opened again, and Yi Xiao walked in with hot water. The man said softly, 111 go back first. Don't go out of the city too early tomorrow. Wait for me to pick you up. All right. She nodded directly. After Xiao Nani left, Jiang Peihuan lay down on the bed. Xiao Bai jumped up onto her bed. Recalling what Xiao Nani had told her, Jiang Peihuan initially wanted to send Xiao Bai down, but seeing the injury on Xiao Bai's leg, she hugged it in her arms. That night, snow fell continuously. Jiang Peihuan was awakened in the early morning by the sound of knocking. "Eldest miss, did one wake you up?" The one who entered was Yu Er. Holding hot water in her hands and helping Jiang Peihuan sit up, Yu Er softly inquired, "Who's making such a noise outside?" "Eldest miss, Miss Lin has arrived. She wishes to see you." "Miss Lin?" Yu Er whispered. "It's Miss Lin Mingyao." Hearing this, Jiang Paihuan's brows furrowed. Thinking about Jiang Paihuan's past relationship with Xiao Juanhao, and then considering Lin Mingjiao's current relationship with him, Yu Er suggested, "If you don't wish to see her, 111 have her away immediately." Saying this, Yu Er prepared to leave. However, she heard Jiang Paihuan's voice from behind, "Let her in." Chapter 245, Deserve to Die, Eldest Miss. "It's fine." Yu Er did not say anything else. Only a short moment later, Yu Er walked back into the room. "Miss Lin refuses to come in. She says she will wait for you outside in the courtyard." Jiang Peihuan did not respond but draped on a fiery red cloak. Lin Mingyao was waiting just outside in the courtyard. This was not her first visit to Jiang Paihuan's plum garden. In the past, under Yan Xin's guidance, Lin Mingyao had visited a few times. Each time she came, Lin Mingyao felt the garden exuded opulence. Outside Jiang Paihuan's room was a large courtyard. Beside a pavilion stood a faux mountain, meticulously crafted. In the summer, tiny streams flowed through it. This faux mountain was personally carved by Jiang Hong. When Jiang Peihuan stepped into the courtyard, what she saw was Lin Mingyao, staring intently at the faux mountain. She didn't say anything, just quietly observing Lin Mingjiao's back. After a long while, Lin Mingyao finally turned to face Jiang Peihuan. Seeing the fiery red cloak on Jiang Peihuan, a hint of envy flashed in her eyes. "Miss Jiang, I apologize for the intrusion." Jiang Peihuan remained silent, merely gazing at Lin Mingyao. Seeing Lin Mingyao stirred some complicated emotions in Jiang Peihuan. In her previous life, it was because of Lin Mingyao that Xiao Juanhao had destroyed everything of hers. "Miss Jiang, I came today with a request." Lin Mingyao took the initiative. Only upon hearing this did Jiang Peihuan finally respond. "Miss Lin, speak your mind. I hope that Miss Jiang can talk to Xingqian, and let us continue to stay in the Lin mansion. After all, we are just some old, weak women and children. Even if it's not a permanent stay, at least let us get through this winter." In just one more month, she would be married into the Qingwang mansion. No matter what happened to the Lin family, It would no longer concern her. Why doesn't Miss Lin approach General Lin directly? I'm aware of what my father did to Uncle, which makes it difficult for me to approach him on this matter. If it's hard for Miss Lin to speak, it's even harder for me. Hearing Lin Mengio's words, Jiang Paihuan's lips curled into a smile, but it was a smile dripping with derision. Lin Mengyao was just the same as in the previous life, always taking others for fools. Meeting Lin Mengio's gaze, Jiang Peihuan said directly, 1 a.m. but an outsider. One cannot intervene in the affairs of the Lin family. An outsider? Let's put aside your relationship with Xingchen for a moment. Just the fact that Miss Jiang took my cousin directly into the palace implicates you in this matter. Does it not? As for what Miss Jiang did, I don't blame you at all. After all, it was my father's fault in the first place. But now, is it too much to ask for a simple favor? As I said, I'm just an outsider. If Miss Lin came here today just to tell me this, then you can leave. You. Hearing Jiang Paihuan's blatant dismissal, anger flared in Lin Mengio's eyes. Taking a deep breath, she looked at Jiang Peihuan and said, Miss Jiang, are you really this cruel? Heh. Hearing Lin Mengio's words, Jiang Peihuan laughed as if she had heard a delightful joke. However, her eyes held not a hint of amusement but were filled with hatred. Seeing the smile on Jiang Paihuan's face, Lin Mengyao looked puzzled. Just as she was about to speak, she heard Jiang Paihuan's voice, Miss Lin, when it comes to cruelty, that title better suits you. Before Lin Mengyao could retort, Jiang Peihuan continued, Or have you forgotten about sending someone to assassinate me? What are you talking about? One don't understand. Miss Lin, do you genuinely not understand? Back then, I was ordered to escort grain to Jiangzhou. Along the way, I was ambushed. Wasn't that your doing? Before Lin Mengyao could finish, she felt a cold sensation on her neck. Unbeknownst to her, Jiang Peihuan had already drawn her long sword. The tip of it was pointed at her throat. Miss Lin, based on what you did to me that day, shouldn't I? Jiang Peihuan, what are you trying to do? Suddenly, someone knocked Jiang Peihuan's sword aside. Jiang Peihuan turned and saw Xiao Juanhao. Xiao Juanhao held Lin Mengyao in his arms. Seeing the blood on her neck, he glared at Jiang Peihuan with icy eyes. How could you be so vicious? You. Not to waste any words, as Xiao Junhao's voice trailed off, Jiang Peihuan's sword lunged towards him. Xiao Junhao's martial skills were superior to her own. Jiang Peihuan's strike was both swift and fierce. Under this assault, Xiao Juanhao looked slightly flustered. By the end, there was anger in Xiao Junhao's eyes. Jiang Peihuan, stop now, or one won't be polite. Jiang Peihuan, seemingly deaf to his words, continued her relentless attack, each strike faster, fiercer, and with undeniable murderous intent. Xiao Juanhao didn't hesitate, drawing his sword from his waist. But as he moved to counterattack, another sword struck at him. Be careful, Your Highness. Hearing Lin Mengio's warning, Xiao Juanhao swiftly dodged, but his arm was still injured. Xiao Nani, sword in hand, stood beside Jiang Peihuan. Huan are you okay? Seeing Jiang Peihuan shake her head, Xiao Nani turned his icy gaze to Xiao Juanhao. You have some nerve to attack. In a month, Huan will be my queen. By protocol, you should address her as your imperial aunt. Today's events will be reported to the emperor. Despite being the injured party, Xiao Nani intended to be the first to complain. Imperial uncle, if it weren't for Miss Jiang trying to kill Yao I wouldn't have acted. You should at least be fair. Xiao Juanhao responded coldly. If Huan wants her dead, then she deserves it. It means she did something deserving of death. Jiang Peihuan, Lin Mengyao, Xiao Juanhao. With Xiao Nanya's declaration, everyone turned incredulous. Your Highness, King Cheng, there's something I'm unsure whether to say or not. Especially Lin Mengyao, she could not believe her ears. Chapter 246. Huan is a treasure. Since you don't know, then don't say it. Upon hearing Lin Mengio's words, Xiao Nani responded immediately. The undisguised annoyance in Xiao Nanya's eyes, Lin Mengio's face stiffened. King Cheng, you might not know, But before you, Miss Jiang of the Jiang family and Prince Qing had interactions and shared a deep friendship. I'm unsure why Miss Jiang changed her feelings towards Prince Qing. Perhaps because King Cheng has won the emperor's favor? Lin Mingyao spoke softly, but her words clearly reached everyone's ears. Jiang Peihuan never expected Lin Mingyao to make such a blatant insinuation. Such words were indeed nauseating. After Lin Mingyao finished speaking, Jiang Peihuan instinctively looked at Xiao Nani. What surprised Jiang Peihuan was the lack of anger in Xiao Nani's eyes. In fact, he seemed even more annoyed. Are you done? Lin Mingyao was stunned when she saw Xiao Nani's indifferent expression. King Cheng, aren't you angry? Why should I be? Lin Mingyao was speechless. Seeing her puzzled expression, Xiao Nani reached out and held Jiang Peihuan's hand. Regardless of whether what you said is true or false, even if it were true, one would never let go of Huan Er. People coveting Huan Er just proves she's a gem. Such a treasure, one will surely never let go. As for today's matter, let it pass. But if I ever hear of you tarnishing Huan Er's reputation again, I'll kill you directly by myself. As he uttered the last sentence, Xiao Nani's gaze towards Lin Mingyao was filled with undisguised killing intent. Lin Mingyao couldn't help but shiver, turning her gaze towards Jiang Peihuan. There was no anger in Jiang Peihuan's eyes, just a faint smile. A smile seemed to be a glaring mockery. Xiao Juanhao, take your girl and get out of here. At this moment, Xiao Nani looked at Xiao Juanhao and said coldly. Lin Mingyao wanted to say something else, but she was abruptly taken away by Xiao Juanhao. As he left, Xiao Junhao's eyes involuntarily landed on Jiang Peihuan. Though her gaze remained on Xiao Nani, Xiao Juanhao tightly clenched his fist. Huan Er, let's go. Shouldn't we head to the city gate today? After Xiao Juanhao and Lin Mingyao left, had Jiang Peihuan not clearly remembered the previous scene, she would have thought the cold-eyed man from before and the one now were not the same person. Xiao Nani, she asked, you don't have any questions about what Lin Mingyao said? Is it important? At her words, Xiao Nani stopped in his tracks, turning to her, and softly inquired. After a few seconds, she chuckled. Indeed, it's unimportant. Let's go. Outside the general's mansion in a carriage. Your Highness, let me treat your wound. Lin Mingyao said softly as she looked at the wound on Xiao Junhao's arm. Lin Mingyao reached out her hand. However, just as her hand was about to touch Xiao Juanhao, the man dodged it. Lin Mingyao looked at him with confusion. Why did you say those words in front of Jiang Peihuan today? Xiao Juanhao asked directly. Is your Highness angry? Lin Mingyao placed her hands elegantly on her knees and looked at Xiao Juanhao. Your Highness did indeed invest a lot in Miss Jiang. Though he intended to use Jiang Peihuan to gain military power from Jiang Hong, he did put in genuine effort. After a while he told her, from now on never mention these matters again. Yes. It was the first time Xiao Juanhao had been so cold towards her. Was it because the Lin family was now powerless that he no longer bothered to be polite? These thoughts made Lin Mingyao's expression complex. Your Highness, the head of the Lin family is now Lin Xingqian. I have no place to call home. In that case, move into my mansion. How could that be possible? Lin Mingyao responded instinctively, clearly disapproving. If she entered the mansion now, what reputation would she have left? What do you propose then? Xiao Juanhao calmly inquired. Perhaps your Highness could find a house for me outside. Lin Mingyao began. They were interrupted by a voice from outside. Are you all blind? Hearing the voice, Lin Mingyao frowned, and Xiao Junhao's expression turned sour. With his status, he could not directly confront the individual. Do you know who I am? I'm the daughter of the Shui family. The great general is my uncle. When he heard the word general, his eyes revealed a thoughtful look. Xiao Juanhao lifted the curtain and got off the carriage. Your Highness. The horsekeeper of the Qing mansion hurriedly gave Xiao Juanhao his luggage. The person arguing outside was none other than Shui Ru. Her foot had already recovered. These few days, Jiang Peihuan and the others had been busy giving out porridge. Shui Ru was bored, so she walked around. Shui Yan also gave her some money in private. Shui Ru was prepared to go out for a walk, but she did not expect to encounter such a thing as soon as she went out. Her new dress was stained by the snow splashed by the carriage. However, the anger in Shui Ru's eyes disappeared instantly when she saw Xiao Juanhao alighting from the carriage. I'm really sorry for dirtying Miss' dress. Why don't you get into the car, miss? I will go to the shop in front to buy Miss a set of clothes, and it can also be considered as an apology to Miss. It's just a dress. It's nothing. Shui Ru's face turned red when she saw the gentleness in Xiao Junhao's eyes. She quickly spoke up when she heard his words. It was originally my carriage that dirtied Miss' dress, so naturally it should be compensated. Chapter 247. Meeting Xiao Juanhao in the end. Shui Ru still boarded Xiao Junhao's carriage, but upon seeing Lin Mengyao sitting inside, a look of displeasure filled her eyes. Is she the prince's servant? Why does she seem so lacking in manners? Lin Mengyao's attire had always been rather modest. Coupled with her sleepless night, she appeared rather haggard today. Additionally, she did not wear any jewelry today. Upon seeing her, Shui Ru's first impression was that of a servant. Both Xiao Juanhao and Lin Mengyao were unpleasant upon hearing this. Had it not been for Shui Ru's sincere expression, she might have suspected it was said on purpose. This is Yao Er, my side consort who hasn't officially entered the household yet. Side consort? Isn't that just another word for a concubine? Xiao Juanhao was speechless. Lin Mengyao was speechless as well. Technically, side consort was indeed a concubine. But who would dare look down upon a royal concubine? After a while, Xiao Juanhao inquired. May I ask about Miss Shui's relationship with the general's mansion? My aunt is the main wife of the general's mansion. So Miss Shui is the cousin of Miss Jiang? Does the prince know my cousin Huan Er? Upon hearing Shui Ru's question, Xiao Juanhao nodded. At that moment, a voice from outside announced, Prince, we've reached the shop. Subsequently, Xiao Juanhao led Shui Ru into the shop. Even though he promised to compensate with just a dress, he ended up buying several dresses and pieces of jewelry for Shui Ru. Xiao Juanhao personally escorted Shui Ru back to the general's mansion. Watching Shui Ru's gleeful departure, the smile and the joyful sign of Xiao Junhao's eyes vanished instantly. This woman was not only arrogant but also naive. If not for her affiliation with the Shui family, Xiao Juanhao wouldn't even spare her a glance. Your Highness, are you thinking of taking Miss Shui into your mansion? Lin Mengyao asked. Xiao Juanhao was surprised to hear Lin Mengyao's words. While the Shui family might not have a strong foundation in the capital, they are influential in Qingzhou. If you were to integrate Miss Shui into your palace, it would undoubtedly be beneficial for your Highness' future endeavors. Shui Ru looked down on the title of a side consort, but from the way she looked at Xiao Juanhao, Lin Mengyao discerned it all too well. Shui Ru may wish to become the princess consort of Prince Qing's mansion. She could only be a side consort. Lin Mengyao couldn't differentiate her feelings of like or dislike towards him anymore. Apart from Xiao Juanhao, she had no other priorities, so the only thing she could do was to propel this man to a higher position. Only then could she have Jiang Peihuan beneath her feet. Yao Er, rest assured one won't let you down. Xiao Juanhao reached out and pulled Lin Mengyao into his arms. Leaning against Xiao Juanhao, Lin Mengyao whispered, I trust your Highness. Her voice was incredibly gentle, but her eyes lacked warmth. If one looked closely, they were filled with coldness. In the following days, Xiao Juanhao frequently invited Shui Ru out for outings, and Jiang Peihuan was oblivious to all of these events. The coldest season finally passed. The decreasing number of beggars on the streets and fewer refugees outside the city, Jiang Peihuan's mood considerably improved. Unbeknownst to them, half a month had passed. During this half a month, Xiao Nani accompanied Jiang Peihuan almost every day. Just like now, as soon as Jiang Peihuan sat down, Xiao Juanhao offered her a cup of tea. Huan Er, have a sip first. Thank you. Looking at the teacup in the man's hand, Jiang Peihuan whispered her thanks. She didn't know when, but it seemed she had become accustomed to this man's presence. Jiang Peihuan initially thought it was just tea, but upon tasting, she realized it was ginseng tea. Xiao Nani, you should have some too. As he took the teacup from her, he drank the remaining ginseng tea she left behind in one gulp. Even though this wasn't the first time Xiao Nani had done this, seeing this scene made Jiang Peihuan's cheeks turn slightly red. Just as Jiang Peihuan was about to speak, a flurry of hoofbeats sounded nearby. Turning her head, she saw Zhao Yong dismounting from his horse. Apart from the time she diagnosed Zhao Yong's biological mother, Jiang Peihuan hadn't seen him again. Meeting Zhao Yong now, she noticed he was covered in injuries, his face pale, yet his expression remained steadfast. "I greet King Cheng." He bowed to Xiao Nani, then turned his attention to Jiang Peihuan. "Miss Jiang, the 2 herbs you told me about, one have found them." "You found the 9-spirit fox and the black snake?" "Yes." A hint of surprise appeared in Jiang Peihuan's eyes. "Miss Jiang, you said that if I gathered the herbs, you'd treat my mother. Does that still stand?" "Of course it does. I'll come with you right now." "Thank you." Hearing Jiang Peihuan's words, a hint of a smile appeared on Zhao Yong's composed face. Moments later, Jiang Peihuan and Xiao Nani got into a carriage. It was the same small courtyard. When Jiang Peihuan saw Madame Zhao again, she noticed her complexion had worsened. After taking Madame Zhao's pulse, Jiang Peihuan said to Zhao Yong, "Show me the herbs." In the living room, Zhao Yong handed 2 porcelain bottles to Jiang Peihuan. Upon opening the white porcelain bottle, Jiang Peihuan detected a faint, mysterious aroma. "Yes, this is the blood of the 9-spirit fox." Opening the other bottle, Jiang Peihuan took a sniff. It was indeed the gallbladder of the black snake. After setting the 2 bottles down, Jiang Peihuan looked at Zhao Yong. "Prince Zhao, do you remember the 3rd ingredient I mentioned?" "Of course, Miss Jiang." "You said the 3rd ingredient is half of my liver." Hearing Zhao Yong's words, Jiang Peihuan nodded. "To extract half of your liver, I need to cut open your abdomen, and then slice off a portion of your liver. Are you still willing?" "Just go ahead, Miss Jiang. I'll bear all the consequences. If Miss Jiang is worried about complications from treating my mother, I can provide a written guarantee right now." Chapter 248. Saving Zhao Yong's mother. "Since that's the case, let's sign a contract." Upon hearing Zhao Yong's words, Jiang Peihuan immediately nodded. Moments later, the servants in the house prepared the paper and Jiang Peihuan, holding a pen in one hand, quickly drafted the contract on it. Jiang Peihuan handed the written note to Zhao Yong and said lightly, "If you think there's no problem, write your name on it." Zhao Yong did not even look at it and directly signed his name. Seeing his actions, a bit of surprise appeared in the eyes of Jiang Peihuan, but she did not say anything. "Prepare a room." Shortly, the 3 of them entered a room. Jiang Peihuan lit an alcohol lamp, then readied a dagger and bandages. After making these preparations, she looked at Zhao Yong, who was sitting across from her. "Remove your top and lie down." Zhao Yong did as instructed. Looking at the man lying on the bed, Jiang Peihuan turned to Xiao Nani, who was seated nearby. Xiao Nani helped hold down his shoulders. Observing Zhao Yong on the bed, a rare look of admiration appeared in Xiao Nani's eyes. Xiao Nani reached out and directly pressed on Zhao Yong's acupoint. Jiang Peihuan was momentarily stunned but realized this method was more effective than merely holding down Zhao Yong's shoulders. "I'm going to begin." Jiang Peihuan addressed the man on the bed. "If you have regrets, now's the time. If you change your mind later, it'll be too late. Just do it." Hearing this, Jiang Peihuan did not say anything else and directly stabbed Zhao Yong's abdomen with the dagger. Blood gushed out immediately, staining Jiang Peihuan's hands red. Yet, she continued her task as if she didn't notice. Zhao Yong's body was immobilized, but cold sweat formed on his forehead. His face turned pale in an instant, but he gritted his teeth and remained silent. Half an hour later, Jiang Peihuan finished suturing Zhao Yong's wound. After that, she washed the blood off her hands. Just as she raised her hand, Xiao Nani grabbed her hand. The man held Jiang Peihuan's wrist in one hand and a handkerchief in the other. He carefully wiped the water off Jiang Peihuan's hands. Only after both of Jiang Peihuan's hands were dry did Xiao Nani release her. By this time, Zhao Yong had sat up. The moment his feet touched the ground, he felt intense pain from his abdomen. But he gritted his teeth, making no sound. Take time to recover. The human liver can regenerate. Miss Jiang, can you treat my mother now? Yes. Jiang Peihuan personally prepared the medicine, not allowing anyone else to intervene. Both Xiao Yong and Xiao Nani were present when Jiang Peihuan treated Madame Zhao. After administering an injection, she then brought the medicine to Madame Zhao. The medicine had a strong and unpleasant smell, but Madame Zhao didn't comment or ask questions. She drank the medicine in one gulp. In the next 3 days, I will come to treat the madam once a day. After 3 days, her condition will improve. Thank you. By this time, the three had walked outside to the courtyard. Apart from his pale face, Zhao Yong didn't look injured. Hearing Jiang Peihuan's words, he softly expressed his gratitude. Jiang Peihuan nodded, not saying more. She looked at Xiao Nani beside him. Let's go back. Xiao Nani and Jiang Peihuan immediately boarded a carriage. Are you tired? Once seated in the carriage, Xiao Nani sat next to Jiang Peihuan. Without waiting for her to respond, he gently made her rest her head on his shoulder. Jiang Peihuan did feel a bit weary. I'll nap for a while. Wake me when we reach the general's residence. All right. Leaning against Xiao Nani, Jiang Peihuan could smell a subtle, cool fragrance from him. This scent, for some reason, brought a sense of comfort. The carriage headed directly towards the general's residence. The carriage stopped at the entrance of the general's residence. Xiao Nani didn't plan to wake Jiang Peihuan, but as he was about to reach out to hold her, she opened her eyes. We've arrived. Jiang Peihuan softly inquired. Xiao Nani didn't speak, but merely nodded. Then, Xiao Nani disembarked from the carriage. Holding on to Xiao Nani's hand, she stepped down. Upon entering the general's residence, Jiang Peihuan saw Deputy General Liu at the entrance. He quickly approached. Your Highness, Miss Jiang? Deputy General Liu, why are you here? What happened? Miss, there's been an incident at Madame's courtyard. Jiang Peihuan nodded. However, she turned to look at Xiao Nani. His Highness is not an outsider. Please request him to join. Then let's go to my mother's courtyard. All right. Xiao Nani and Jiang Peihuan headed towards Yanlin. Jiang Peihuan heard shouting from inside. It was the voice of the old Madame Shui. A hint of surprise flashed in Jiang Peihuan's eyes. They quickly speed up to enter together. Grandmother, mother, aunt. Besides Shui Yan and old Madame Shui, Wang Fingyi and Su Yinyang were seated. Seeing Xiao Nani following Jiang Peihuan, several instinctively started to bow, but Xiao Nani was quick to assist the old Madame Shui. Old Madam, please, there's no need for such formalities. We're all family here. Huan Er, you and His Highness please take a seat. Yes. With Shui Yan's command, Jiang Peihuan and Xiao Nani seats nearby of her. At this moment, Jiang Peihuan noticed that Shuiru was kneeling on the ground. Upon closer observation, Jiang Peihuan realized that Shuiru was adorned with silk and jewelry. While the Shui family had such items, these particular styles were all the rage in the capital. Grandmother, if Huan Er can marry to King Cheng, why can't I marry Prince Qing? Huan Er's marriage to King Cheng was an official and honorable one. She is the primary wife of King Cheng. What are you? Not to mention that the emperor has already bestowed a main wife and side consort to Prince Qing. Even if you were to marry him, you'd be nothing more than a concubine. What's this about being a concubine? A royal concubine still holds a higher status than an ordinary citizen's primary wife. Moreover, Prince Qing truly cherishes me. More importantly, she and Prince Qing had already consummated their relationship. Apart from Prince Qing, she could not marry any other man. Silence. Chapter 249. Shuiru was beaten upon hearing Shuiru's words. The anger that old Madame Shui had just calmed flared up instantly. Shui Yan hurriedly approached. Mother, please calm down and speak rationally with Ru Er. Don't get angry. She's nothing but trouble. Shuiru, this is your aunt's courtyard. I don't want to punish you here, making it a spectacle for others. But pack your things immediately. 111 have someone send you back to Qingzhou. I want return. I already belong to Prince Qing. Box novel. Calm when she mentioned the last sentence, Shueru spoke softly, but everyone in the hall heard her. Upon hearing this, the old Madame Shue's eyes widened in shock, and her finger pointing at Shueru trembled. What did you just say? Mother? Grandmother? Old Madame Shui suddenly fall to one side. Both Shui Yan and Jiang Peihuan rushed forward. Jiang Peihuan quickly took out a pill from her possession and placed it into the old madame's mouth. Huan air water. Xiao Nani swiftly handed a cup of water to Jiang Peihuan. Jiang Peihuan quickly brought it to the old madame's lips. After taking the medicine, old Madame Shui gradually regained consciousness. However, when she saw Shueru, her emotions began to get agitated again. Jiang Peihuan quickly said, Grandmother, if there's anything, let's talk about it. If you ruin your body, wouldn't it become Huan Air's fault? Silly child. What does this have to do with you? How is it unrelated? If it wasn't for the fact that you were here to attend Huan Air's wedding, Grandmother wouldn't have come all the way from Qingzhou to Jingdou. All right, Grandmother won't be angry. Taking a deep breath, old Madame Shui turned to Xiao Nani. King Cheng, may I trouble you for a favor? Please, old Madame Shui, feel free to speak your mind. I'd like to request His Highness King Qing to come over. Do not worry, I've already sent someone. He should be here within the time it takes to steep a cup of tea. Thank you, Your Highness. Old Madame Shui no longer wished to say another word to Shueru. As for the others, they wanted to speak but dared not utter a word. Yet Jiang Peihuan, seeing Shueru adorned with jewelry, couldn't help but ask, Cousin Ru'er, how did you come to know Prince Qing? Given that they're together now, it must have been for some time. Recently, Jiang Peihuan had been preoccupied with her charitable activities and had almost forgotten about Shueru. Moreover, Shueru had originally intended to stay at the general's mansion because she was infatuated with Jiang Changbai. It was beyond Jiang Peihuan's imagination that in such a short time, Shueru and Xiao Juanhao became involved. However, Jiang Peihuan wondered if this was initiated by Shueru, or if it was a plot by Xiao Juanhao. My encounter with Prince Qing was by chance. One day I was out of the mansion, touring. Shueru proudly narrated all the things Xiao Juanhao had done for her. But as Jiang Peihuan listened, her face showed discomfort. Perhaps Shueru's encounter with Xiao Juanhao was by chance, but what followed was undoubtedly Xiao Junhao's scheming. Jiang Peihuan wanted to expose Xiao Junhao's true nature to Shueru. But seeing the adoration in Shueru's eyes, she dropped the idea, thinking it would be futile. Jiang Peihuan looked directly at Shueru. Cousin Ru'er, you're the only daughter of the Shui family. Given how much your uncle and aunt love you, you're surely destined to be someone's main wife. Being a concubine in Prince Qing's mansion is beneath you. Although Shueru was the only daughter of the Shui family, technically speaking, marrying Xiao Juanhao as a concubine would be quite an elevation for Shueru. However, Jiang Peihuan knew her cousin very well, so she purposely mentioned it. Indeed, after hearing Jiang Peihuan's words, a hint of conflict appeared in Shueru's eyes. Yet she remained silent for a moment before responding. Prince Qing and I truly love each other. One don't care about titles. Jiang Peihuan, Madam, Prince Qing is here. At this point, Deputy General Liu entered the room. He spoke softly after acknowledging old Madame Shui and Shui Yan. A hint of anger appeared in Shui Yan's eyes. Hearing Liu's announcement, she immediately said, Let him in. Yes. Shueru's eyes remained glued to the door. Seeing the figure in the treasure blue robe enter, a bright smile illuminated her face. Your Highness? Ru'er. Upon seeing Shueru, Xiao Junhao's eyes were full of affection. Sitting in her chair, Jiang Peihuan observed this with a mocking expression. When he entered, Xiao Junhao's gaze first settled on Shueru, but he couldn't help but glance towards Jiang Peihuan. Seeing the ridicule in her eyes, Xiao Junhao's face stiffened for a moment. However, thinking of his ultimate goal, Xiao Juanhao turned to old Madame Shui and Shui Yan. Old Madame Shui, Madame Jiang, Ru'er and I truly love each other. I sincerely wish to marry her. I hope you will grant us your blessing. Since Prince Qing wishes to marry Ru'er, I wonder what status you intend to give her. As far as I'm aware, the Emperor has already granted you a main wife. I am willing to marry Ru'er with the honor due to a side consort. A side consort? Forgive me for being blunt, but that is still just a concubine's position. Are you intentionally trying to disrespect our Shui? I'm willing, grandmother. I am willing to be his side consort. Old Madame Shui hadn't finished speaking when Shui eagerly interjected. Old Madame Shui nearly fainted. Ru'er, matters of marriage are decided by the elders. It's not your place to speak. This time, Shui Yan, devoid of any restraint, stared coldly at Shui. Aunt, Huan Er and King Cheng spend all your days together. Before you worry about me, shouldn't you keep an eye on your own daughter first? You, initially Shui Yan being her aunt, truly felt affection for her. But hearing Shui Ru's words now, Shui Yan's expression was unpleased. However much she cared for Shui Ru, she was just a niece. How could she come before her own daughter? Yi Xiao slap her. Amidst the deafening silence, Xiao Nani suddenly spoke. Before anyone could react, Yi Xiao approached Shui Ru and directly slapped her face. All. A crisp slap resounded throughout the living room. Chapter 250. She is no longer a member of the Shui family. If it weren't for the fact that they were in the Shui family residence, Xiao Nani would have killed Shui Ru. Huan Er is my future queen. If anyone dares to speak ill of her, don't blame me for being impolite. But a joke between two sisters, why should your highness King Qing be? Wang Fingyi could not just watch and intervene. However, when she met Xiao Nanya's icy gaze, she dared not continue. Your highness, save me. Shui Ru tried to resist, but her wrist was firmly gripped by Yi Xiao. No matter how much Shui Ru tried to evade, Yi Xiao's slaps landed precisely on her face. Box novel. Calm. Out of respect for the old Madame Shui, Jiang Peihuan had always refrained from picking fights with Shui Ru. She couldn't deny the satisfaction she felt watching Shui Ru now being punished. Shui Ru looked at Xiao Juanhao with pleading eyes. Xiao Junhao's expression turned sour. He had not expected Xiao Nani to act so ruthlessly. He said to Xiao Nani, Dear Imperial Uncle, please, I ask for some respect. Since you've spoken, I'll spare her this time. Yi Xiao, stop. Yi Xiao ceased her action, leaving Shui Ru's face red and swollen. The old Madame Shui, witnessing the scene, felt a constriction in her chest. After a long pause, she turned to Xiao Juanhao and said, Your Highness, regarding your intention to marry Ru'er, I'm afraid I cannot agree. Grandmother, why? If you say another word, Shui Ru, I'll have you beaten to death on the spot. Hearing old Madame Shui's words, panic filled Shui Ru's eyes. She instinctively wanted to respond, but old Madame Shui cut her off before she could finish. After that threat, Shui Ru didn't dare utter another word. Old Madame Shui, what if I insist on marrying her? After all, Ru'er is already mine. Yes, grandmother, perhaps one already carry his child. Jiang Peihuan. Xiao Nani. Huan Er, is she really your uncle's daughter? Upon hearing Shui Ru's words, Jiang Peihuan was utterly speechless. Jiang Peihuan turned to face Xiao Nani, her eyes reflecting her complicated feelings. I truly hope not. The male heirs of the Shui family were all considered top-notch, and Jiang Peihuan couldn't comprehend why an exception like Shui Ru existed among them. Perhaps Shui Ru's words had cooled her anger, for the rage in old Madame Shui's eyes seemed to fade. Upon hearing Shui Ru, old Madame Shui suddenly spoke. Are you set on marrying into the Prince Qing's mansion? Yes. After that, old Madame Shui looked directly at Xiao Juanhao. Does your highness have to marry Shui Ru? Yes. Hearing old Madame Shui's words, Xiao Juanhao was silent for a few seconds before nodding. In that case, one agreed to this marriage. Mother. When Shui Yan and Su Yunyang heard this, they were shocked. However, old Madame Shui suddenly smiled. But one haven't finished speaking. Old Madame Shui continued. From now on, Shui Ru is no longer the daughter of the Shui family. She has nothing to do with the Shui family. In the future, whether she lives or dies in the Qing's mansion has no relation to the Shui family. Grandmother, what are you saying? Shui Ru's eyes filled with panic as she looked at old Madame Shui. Don't you understand what I'm saying? I'm telling you, from now on, You're not part of the Shui family. If I'm not part of the Shui family, then who am I? You're merely a concubine of the Prince Qing mansion, no ties to the Shui family anymore. Having said that, old Madame Shui turned to Xiao Juanhao. Prince Qing, you can take her away. From here on, her fate is no longer the concern of the Shui family. Upon hearing old Madame Shui's words, Xiao Junhao's expression was not too happy. The reason why he wanted to marry Shui Ru was to use his relationship with the Shui family to get close to the Jiang family. If Shui Ru wasn't a member of the Shui family, why would he marry her? Mother, how can you say that? Ru Er is the daughter of the general and mine. This is the eldest brother's home. If you say another word, you can leave the Shui family too. Hearing old Madame Shui's words, Wang Fingyi remained silent. Huan Er, I'm a little tired. I heard that your courtyard is a good place to rest. Old Madame Shui didn't look at anyone else but looked at Jiang Peihuan. Jiang Peihuan quickly went forward to hold her hand. Jiang Peihuan brought old Madame Shui to her courtyard. Shui Ru, who was kneeling on the ground, watched old Madame Shui leave. At this moment, Xiao Nani and looked at Xiao Juanhao. Prince Qing, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and take your wife home. After saying that, Xiao Nani followed Jiang Peihuan. Grandmother, you don't have to be sad. I believe that if uncle knows, he won't blame you. Shui Ru, that idiot. She really thinks that the Prince Qing likes her. If she wasn't from the Shui family, do you think he would talk to her? I can't let your only 2 uncles and all your cousins get into trouble because of her. Although old Madame Shui was an intelligent person, she saw through Xiao Junhao's plan. When old Madame Shui spoke, Jiang Peihuan just stayed by her side as her listener. Jiang Peihuan and old Madame Shui sat down in the pavilion of the plum garden. Jiang Peihuan said softly, Grandmother, have some hot ginseng tea. All right. Taking the cup from Jiang Peihuan's hands, she took 2 sips. Then Jiang Peihuan also handed Xiao Nani a cup of tea. When he took the teacup from Jiang Peihuan's hand, the man's fingers gently brushed past Jiang Peihuan's fingertips. Sensing the warmth of her fingertips, Jiang Peihuan glared at the man. Huan Er, I have something for you. Old Madame Shui put down the teacup in her hand, and suddenly handed Jiang Peihuan a black wooden box. Jiang Peihuan asked softly, Grandmother, what is this? You'll know when you open it. Jiang Peihuan opened the box. Inside the box was a stack of title deeds. Grandmother, what are you doing? This is 500 mu of fertile land in the suburbs of the capital. It's your dowry from your grandmother. Grandmother, I can't accept this. As she spoke, Jiang Peihuan had already pushed the title deed back. However, when old Madame Shui saw Jiang Peihuan's actions, she frowned. Why? Do you think it's too little? Grandmother, you know that Huan Er didn't mean it that way. Chapter 251. Throwing it into the Qing mansion's carriage, you should accept it. Seeing that Jiang Peihuan's eyes were still filled with conflict, old Madame Shui continued. It said that you can't refuse a gift from your elders. This is my dowry for you. You should accept it. All right. Thank you, grandmother. Jiang Peihuan did not say anything more. Instead, she took the title deed from old Madame Shui's hand. Seeing that she had accepted it, a smile appeared in old Madame Shui's eyes. Old Madame Shui looked at Xiao Nani. Your Highness, one don't have the right to say these words. One hope that you can treat Huan Er well after your wedding. Don't worry, one will definitely take good care of Huan Er. I will never let her down in this lifetime. That's good. Huan Er, grandmother will go back first. Oh, come back on your wedding day. Grandmother, are you going back now? It was cold today, have a good rest in the residence for the night. No, I have to settle that little devil's matter today. Jiang Peihuan did not say anything else. Old Madame Shui stopped Jiang Peihuan and said in a low voice, Stay in your courtyard. I will handle this well. Your Highness, you should accompany Huan Er. Yes. Old Madame Shui held the servant girl's hand and strode away. Jiang Peihuan and Xiao Nani walked into the small hall. As soon as they sat down, Yu Er brought some tea. This is the title deed grandmother gave me. Please keep it somewhere safe, Yu Er. Yes, eldest Mississippi. Yu Er took the box from her hands. Xiao Nani, on the other hand, looked at the title deed that Yu Er had taken away. He couldn't help but say, "Old Madame Shui loves you very much. Grandmother really loves me." Although the Shui family was a high-ranking official in Qingzhou, they were not particularly wealthy. However, the title deed that old Madame Shui had just given Jiang Peihuan was very rare. Old Madame Shui must have taken it out from her private room. "Eldest miss, there's a commotion ahead." Just as Jiang Peihuan was talking to Xiao Nani, she saw Lu Er came over. Jiang Peihuan frowned. What happened? Old Madame Shui wanted to leave, so she wanted to take young lady together. However, young lady Shui said that she was unwilling to leave, and she even said that she wanted to get married. Old Madame Shui mentioned that young lady Shui did not need to wait until the wedding, and could go directly to the Qing mansion now. At this moment, old Madame Shui is asking the Prince Qing to take young lady Shui away. Young lady Shui is crying at the door, saying that old Madame Shui is heartless. She is constantly cursing, attracting many people to watch at the door of the mansion. Even if Lu Er did not elaborate the scene, Jiang Peihuan could also imagine it. She did not say anything and directly stood up from the chair. Old Madame Shui did not allow Jiang Peihuan to go over, because she did not want her to see such a filthy thing. However, Jiang Peihuan pushed the door open and walked out. "Eldest miss, it's cold outside." Seeing Jiang Peihuan walk out directly, Lu Er's eyes were filled with worry. She subconsciously wanted to grab Jiang Peihuan's cloak, but she realized that Xiao Nani had already blown the cloak away. Jiang Peihuan's eyes were filled with anger. When the cold wind blew, she realized that she was not wearing a cloak. A warm feeling fell on her shoulder. Xiao Nani carefully helped Jiang Peihuan tie her cloak. "Why do you have to worry about irrelevant people? If you catch a cold, won't the people around you be worried?" Hearing Xiao Nani's words, the anger in Jiang Peihuan's eyes instantly dissipated. The two of them walked to the door together. Before they reached the door, Jiang Peihuan heard Shui Rus wailing. "Grandmother, why are you so cruel?" "Mother, grandmother doesn't care about me and you don't care about me either." Wang Fingyi, who was standing next to old Madame Shui, wanted to step forward when she saw Shui Rus' expression, but when she thought of what old Madame Shui had said to her, she did not dare to step forward. She did love Shuiru a little, but this love was built on the basis that it did not affect her. "Shuiru, I've already said that you're no longer a member of the Shui family. Whether you live or die, and where you go, it has nothing to do with the Shui family." Faced with Shui Rus' tearful cries, old Madame Shui's eyes no longer had any warmth. She might have cared about her granddaughter before. She didn't want to say anything for her now. "Your Highness, since Shuiru is already pregnant with your child, she will be a member of the Qing mansion in the future. You can take her away now." They were worried about Xiao Junhao's identity, and no one said anything unpleasant, but everyone looked at him with ridicule. Xiao Junhao clenched his fists tightly. "Whoever makes a ruckus in front of General Mansion will be punished on the spot." "Yes, sir." As Xiao Nani's voice fell, a group of soldiers suddenly appeared with bows and arrows in their hands. Seeing this scene, the crowd subconsciously took 2 steps back. He dared not make any more sounds but still looked at the door of the general's mansion. Jiang Peihuan walked to old Madame Shui's side. "Grandmother, mother, didn't one tell you not to come out? Why did you come out again?" Old Madame Shui immediately spoke. Jiang Peihuan did not answer old Madame Shui's question, but looked at Shuiru. Shuiru also looked at her. When their eyes met, the expressions in their eyes were very ugly. Shuiru was jealous, and Jiang Peihuan was annoyed. "Anyone?" Xiao Nani glanced at Han Feng, and 2 soldiers immediately stepped forward. "Queen Cheng." When she heard this, Jiang Peihuan's eyes showed some surprise. Xiao Nani looked at them with approval. These soldiers were Xiao Nani's soldiers and only listened to Xiao Nani's orders. Now they addressed Jiang Peihuan as their queen because they treated her as their second master. However, at this time, Jiang Peihuan did not pursue the matter of address. Chapter 252. Meeting a friend. Jiang Peihuan ordered them Tie her up and throw her directly into the carriage and escort her to the Qing mansion's residence. Yes, Queen Cheng. The two of them did not hesitate at Jiang Paihuan's order. They walked directly toward Xueru. Your Highness, save me. Xueru quickly looked at Xiao Juanhao. Xiao Junhao's eyes were filled with unsightly expressions as he looked at the soldiers walking towards them. He looked at Jiang Peihuan coldly. Miss Jiang, aren't you looking down on me? Miss Xue is now a member of the Qing mansion. Since they are people from the Qing mansion, I will trouble the Prince Qing to take them away. Don't dirty the general's floor. Jiang Peihuan you. Before Xiao Juanhao could say anything, Xueru's eyes were filled with anger. Once she saw Xiao Nanya's gloomy eyes and instantly shut her mouth. Let's go back to the mansion. Xiao Juanhao looked at the people beside him and said. He got into the carriage without looking at Xueru. The wound on his arm had not been bandaged yet. Your Highness, please wait for the me. Xueru hurriedly followed him into the carriage. Soon, the people from the Qing mansion left with Xueru. At this time, Jiang Peihuan noticed that old Madame Xue's expression was also very bad. Mother, why don't you let grandmother stay in your Yanlin tonight? Jiang Peihuan said softly to Xue Yan. We'll arrange it. You and King Qing can go back. After Jiang Peihuan bowed to old Madame Xue and Xue Yan, she took Xiao Nani back to her plum garden. When Jiang Peihuan was about to enter the house, Xiao Nani held her hand. Facing Jiang Peihuan's puzzled expression, the man said softly, I'll take you to a place. Xiao Nani hugged Jiang Peihuan's waist and jumped over the wall. Xue Yan also ran over. Xiao Nani carried Jiang Peihuan and got on Xue Yan. Xiao Nani helped put on the cape for Jiang Huan and pulled her into his arms. When the horse started running, the wind messed up Jiang Peihuan's hair. However, she was wearing a hat and leaning against Xiao Nani, so she didn't feel cold. The horse went straight into the city and finally stopped at the entrance of a relatively elegant house. After Xiao Nani dismounted, he carried Jiang Peihuan off the horse. At this moment, the door of the house was opened. Your Highness, everyone listen. King Qing is here. Is Chu Heng here? Young Master is in the courtyard. By the way, young Master Rong is here too. Okay, I'll go over and take a look. The person who opened the door was a child. When he heard this, he bowed to Xiao Nani and Jiang Peihuan. Jiang Peihuan had never known about this place. From the moment she walked into the house, Jiang Peihuan was attracted by the exquisiteness in front of her. There was no difference between this house and an ordinary house outside, but the interior was decorated in a very elegantly way. After walking past the stream on the river at the entrance, Jiang Peihuan saw a pavilion surrounded by flowers. At the moment, two young men were sitting in the pavilion. One of them had an elegant figure and exuded a scholarly aura. Another one had a devilish look, but his appearance was very exquisite, even more beautiful than a woman. The two of them turned around together. When she saw Jiang Peihuan beside Xiao Nani, both of them were surprised. The evil-looking man winked at Jiang Peihuan when she walked into the pavilion. Do you believe that 111 dig out your eyes and soak them in wine? Xiao Nani, who was walking beside Jiang Peihuan, saw Chu Heng's actions and said coldly. Upon hearing this, the evil-looking Chu Heng said speechlessly, Don't tell me you brought Huan Er out on this trip? Aye. Before Chu Heng could finish his sentence, he felt a chill on his neck. He quickly dodged and saw a chopstick stuck in a pillar at his side. If he hadn't reacted quickly, the chopsticks would have pierced his neck. Who gave you permission to call her Huan Er? Rong Mo, look at him. He has a beautiful woman, and doesn't want us anymore. The other elegant man, Rong Mo, ignored Chu Heng. He only nodded politely at Jiang Peihuan. Miss Jiang. Seeing his actions, Jiang Peihuan bowed slightly. Young Master Rong. Miss Jiang, do you know me? Hearing the way Jiang Peihuan addressed him, Rong Mo was a little surprised. Jiang Peihuan smiled and then bowed to Chu Heng. Young Master Chu. Huan Er, how did you know their identities? Even Xiao Nani was surprised. After Xiao Nani sat down on a chair in the pavilion, Jiang Peihuan smiled softly and said, Not only do I know the identities of Rong Mo and Chu Heng, I also know that the largest Yin Chun brothel in the Jingdo is Rong Mo's property. Hearing Jiang Peihuan's words, Rong Mo and Chu Heng subconsciously looked at Xiao Nani. Xiao Nani said in a low voice, "I didn't say anything." "You didn't say anything. How would she know?" Chu Heng's eyes were filled with doubt. Rong Mo looked directly at Jiang Peihuan and asked, "Miss Jiang, can you help me clear my doubts? I once saw young Master Rong at the Yanchun brothel." The real reason was that Jiang Peihuan had learned about Rong Mo and Chu Heng's identities and information from Xiao Juanhao in her previous life. Xiao Juanhao wanted to win Xiao Nani over. The Rong family was a scholarly family. The academy that Jiang Songbai was studying in was opened by the Rong family, and Rong Mo was the legitimate son of the Rong family. In her previous life, Jiang Peihuan was shocked when she found out that the Yanchun brothel was his property. As for Chu Heng, he was the youngest son of the Chu family. This Chu family was the mother's family of Huainan Princess Chu Rou. However, Huainan Princess came from the main branch. According to seniority, Chu Heng had to call Huainan Princess as his auntie. Hearing Jiang Peihuan's words, Rong Mo didn't say anything else, indicating that he had accepted the answer. However, Xiao Nani felt that this wasn't the real answer. However, Jiang Peihuan had a lot of secrets, but if she didn't want to tell him, Xiao Nani wouldn't ask. However, when Chu Heng heard this, he immediately asked, "Why would a lady like you go to Yanchun brothel?" Yanchun brothel was the largest brothel in the capital, so Chu Heng's eyes were filled with doubt and curiosity. Rong Mo was speechless when he said it. Xiao Nani glanced coldly at Chu Heng, but the latter did not notice at all. He only looked at Jiang Peihuan. Jiang Peihuan smiled and said, "If I say I'm curious, would young Master Chu believe me?" Chapter 253. Qingyang curious? Hearing Jiang Peihuan's words, Chu Heng's eyes were filled with suspicion, but Jiang Peihuan did not say anything else. The reason why she had entered the brothel was indeed out of curiosity. At that time, she was still obsessed with Xiao Juanhao, but he was sometimes cold and sometimes gentle to her. She wanted to capture Xiao Junhao's heart. She heard that the women in the Yanchun brothel were very good at making men happy. She also had the idea and went to the Yanchun brothel. Jiang Peihuan felt that there was something wrong with her brain. "All right. Why do you have so many questions?" Xiao Nani looked coldly at Chu Heng. The latter silently shut his mouth. "Young master, the pot is ready. Do you want to serve it?" At this moment, a child walked up to Chu Heng and asked softly, "Bring it up and bring me my wine." A moment later, Jiang Peihuan saw that the table in front of her was filled with all kinds of dishes. The vines woven on the pavilion were all fresh flowers. Jiang Peihuan could even smell the faint fragrance of flowers. On such a winter day, she could actually see flowers blooming. Jiang Peihuan's eyes also revealed some surprise. However, the other three people at the table were very calm. "Go prepare some tea." Xiao Nani ordered the servant. "Why are you drinking tea in this weather? It's so refreshing to drink wine." Chu Heng asked. Xiao Nani couldn't be bothered to look at him. Jiang Peihuan reached out and grabbed the man's sleeve. When she met Xiao Nani's eyes, she said softly, "It's okay. One want to have a drink too." Hearing this, Xiao Nani didn't say anything. "Miss Jiang, Chu Heng and one have been good friends with Nani for many years. Since you are his unwed wife, you are not an outsider." These words were said by Rong Mo. Although he had a refined temperament, Jiang Peihuan knew that he was not as easy to talk to as he looked from the coldness in his eyes. However, when he spoke to Jiang Peihuan, Rong Mo's expression was icy cold, but very sincere. Therefore, when she heard this, Jiang Peihuan's eyes revealed a smile. The few of them were eating and drinking. To be precise, only Chu Heng and Jiang Peihuan were eating. Rong Mo and Xiao Nani rarely touched their chopsticks. The two of them kept talking about the situation in front of them. Jiang Peihuan listened quietly but did not make any comments. When Jiang Peihuan was drinking, she found that the taste of the wine was actually very good. Xiao Nani pressed the back of her hand. "You've already drunk a lot. You can't drink anymore," he insisted. "I won't get drunk and this wine tastes good." "You have good taste." This wine was personally brewed by Rong Mo. Perhaps it was because Jiang Peihuan was very straightforward and did not have the cumbersome nature of ordinary women, but Chu Heng's attitude towards Jiang Peihuan was much better than before. Hearing Chu Heng's words, Jiang Peihuan subconsciously looked at Rong Mo. Miss Jiang, if you like this wine, 111 get Nani to send you some later. Jiang Peihuan really liked the taste of the wine, so she nodded her head. Thank you, young master Rong. Miss, please leave. Young master won't see you. Rong Mo. As soon as Jiang Peihuan's voice fell, she heard a shout at the door. The voice was very gentle, and it was a woman's voice. The child at the door was clearly in a difficult position, but he did not dare to really reach out to stop the woman, so the woman stumbled to the pavilion. The woman obviously did not expect that there would be other people in the pavilion. However, after a short while, she looked at Rong Mo with tears in her eyes. Rong Mo, are you really going to be so heartless to me? Qingyang, you are too greedy. Rong Mo has already helped your family enough. Chu Heng, who was sitting at the side, spoke up. He looked at the woman with a very annoyed expression. However, Qingyang completely ignored Chu Heng, as if she hadn't heard him at all. Her eyes fell directly on Rong Mo. Jiang Peihuan noticed that Rong Mo's expression did not change at all. Rong Mo's expression was very calm when faced with Qingyang's question. He looked at Qingyang as if he was looking at a stranger. Rong Mo, you promised my brother. Have you forgotten? I did promise that your brother would take care of the Chung family, so I've already settled the Chung family. What else do you want me to do? HJH, you promised my brother that you would take good care of me. Aren't you full and warm now? Rong Mo spoke up immediately after Qingyang finished her sentence. His words seemed to have provoked Qingyang. Hearing Rong Mo's words, she shouted hoarsely. Food and clothes were not what one want. Then what do you want? Before Qingyang could finish, Rong Mo interrupted her. Qingyang's eyes revealed a hint of embarrassment, but she still said in a low voice, I want to stay by your side. Then, do you want to be my maid? You actually want me to be a maid? Rong Mo's words made Qingyang's eyes widen. When Rong Mo heard this, he seemed to be very puzzled. Didn't you say that you wanted to stay by my side? Wasn't that the same as wanting to be the servant girl? Rong Mo, you know what I mean. One want to stay by your side, so one naturally want to be your family. My family? You want to be my concubine? Jiang Peihuan, who was sitting quietly beside Xiao Nani, almost laughed out loud when she heard Rong Mo's words. Although she didn't know who this Qingyang was, she could tell that this girl wasn't a simple person. In the beginning, she had been worried that Rong Mo would be at a disadvantage. Now, it seemed that she had underestimated this young master Rong. That was true. How could a person who could create a business like the Yen Chun brothel be a simple person? When Qingyang heard the word concubine, she seemed to have been greatly insulted. Her eyes were filled with anger as she shouted at Rong Mo. I'm the young lady of the Chung family. How can you make me a concubine? Don't tell me you still want to be my primary wife. Qingyang didn't say anything. She obviously had this thought. Seeing that she didn't say anything, Rong Mo suddenly let out a chuckle. However, Jiang Peihuan, who was sitting next to Xiao Nani, could sense a hint of mockery in his smile. Chapter 254. Find Jiang Peihuan as expected. For Chung Song's sake, I've settled down the Chung family and left enough money for you. As long as you don't squander recklessly, that money is enough for you to live in peace. This wasn't enough. Qingyang, my primary wife, is destined to be the matron of the Rong family in the future. Do you think you're qualified? When Rong Mo said this, there was no mockery or expression in his eyes. However, Qingyang was shocked when he heard this. Qingyang, I'm friends with Chung Song. For his sake, 111 take care of the Chung family. But that's all. After all, one don't owe the Chung family anything. To be honest, everything the Chung family eats and drinks is my money. So, don't appear in front of me again. Otherwise, I'll take back everything one gave to the Chung family. Rong Mo's voice wasn't loud, but his expression was very serious. You promised my brother that you would take care of me and the Chung family. Don't you feel sorry for my brother by doing this? am not the one who's sorry to Chung Song, it's you. Chung Song is dead, but you're not. Why can't you support the Chung family? I'm just a woman. How can one support the Chung family? Let's just say that it's Miss Jiang who's beside you. With a change of scenery, Rong Mo's gaze fell on Jiang Peihuan. Jiang Peihuan did not expect the topic to shift to her. Miss Jiang is also a woman, but she was able to follow her father to war when she was young. If it were you, Qingyang, why couldn't you be able to do the same? You should go. I don't want to see you again. Perhaps she was hurt by Rong Mo's words, or perhaps it was for some other reason. Qingyang left immediately. However, when she left, she couldn't help but glance at Jiang Peihuan. After Qingyang left, Chu Heng looked at Rong Mo with a complicated expression. Why are you looking at me like that? Rong Mo said calmly when he saw Chu Heng's expression. Chu Heng said with a strange look in his eyes. I thought you would let her do whatever she wants. Rong Mo, who had a good temper, could not help but roll his eyes. What do you mean do whatever you want? She still does whatever she wants. You've never rejected her requests before. From now on, I'm going to reject her. As soon as Rong Mo finished speaking, everyone looked at him. Even Jiang Peihuan had a doubtful look in her eyes. Rong Mo said in a low voice, for the sake of her brother, I can take care of her for a while, but I can't take care of her forever. Cheng Yang's arrival didn't affect their mood, but after the sky gradually darkened, Xiao Nani left Chu Heng's house with Jiang Peihuan. When she reached the door, Jiang Peihuan heard a voice coming from behind her. Nani, wait. Xiao Nani and Jiang Peihuan stopped in their tracks and turned to look at Chu Heng, who was walking towards them. Xiao Nani said calmly, what else do you want? I'm not looking for you. I'm looking for Miss Jiang. Young Master Chu, is there anything you need from me? Jiang Peihuan said softly when she heard Chu Heng's voice. Chu Heng did not speak. Instead, he took out a token from his body and handed it directly to Jiang Peihuan. When she saw the token in Chu Heng's hand, Jiang Peihuan's eyes revealed some surprise. Although this token looked ordinary, Jiang Peihuan knew that this was Chu Heng's command token. With this token, one could use all the property and power under his name. Young Master Chu, what do you mean by this? You and Nani will be getting married in half a month. It's not convenient for me to attend your wedding. This token can be considered my wedding gift to you. Upon hearing this, Jiang Peihuan's eyes revealed some surprise. However, she did not reach out to take it, but turned to look at the man beside her. Xiao Nani didn't say anything. Instead, he nodded. Jiang Peihuan reached out and took the token. Thank you. Don't be so polite. We're all on the same side. As she accepted his token without hesitation, Chu Heng's eyes revealed a smile. His smile made his already evil face even more charming. Jiang Peihuan quickly looked away. However, when the two of them arrived at the gate of the general's mansion, Jiang Peihuan found a figure standing at the gate. The figure looked a little familiar. When she approached, Jiang Peihuan realized that it was Cheng Yang. Jiang Peihuan's eyes were filled with confusion. When Cheng Yang heard the voice, she immediately walked over. Miss Jiang? Miss Cheng. Miss Jiang, I've been waiting for you. Waiting for me? The doubt in Jiang Peihuan's eyes deepened. She looked at Cheng Yang and said softly, Miss Cheng, is there anything you need from me? Yes. Miss Jiang, I want you to teach me martial arts. What did you say? Jiang Peihuan would have thought that she had heard wrongly. Cheng Yang seemed to have strengthened her conviction, and her voice became much louder. She looked at Jiang Peihuan and repeated her words. I said, one want Miss Jiang to teach me martial arts. Miss Cheng, may first ask why you suddenly want to learn martial arts? Besides, why do you want to learn from me? Because Rong Mo said that you are very powerful. Just because of one sentence from young Master Rong, you came to find me? Cheng Yang didn't say anything but nodded. Jiang Peihuan suddenly didn't know what to say. If you want to learn martial arts, go find Rong Mo. Xiao Nani spoke to her. After that, Xiao Nani pulled Jiang Peihuan and walked inside, but Cheng Yang followed him. Cheng Yang even followed Jiang Peihuan to the plum garden. What exactly do you want to do? In the courtyard of the plum garden, Xiao Nani looked at Cheng Yang, who was dressed in white. If it was anyone else, they would have been so scared that they didn't know what to say when they saw Xiao Nanya's expression. However, Jiang Peihuan found something strange. Chengyang didn't seem to be afraid of Xiao Nani at all. Just like now, she acted as if she did not hear Xiao Nanya's words at all. She only looked at Jiang Peihuan with anticipation. Miss Jiang, please teach me. I will definitely learn well. Chapter 255. You can't even enter the Qing mansion. Miss Cheng, learning martial arts isn't something that can be achieved overnight. Moreover, it's best to start learning martial arts when you're young. Is there no other way? Hearing Jiang Peihuan's words, Cheng Yang's eyes revealed a trace of disappointment. Jiang Peihuan did not speak. She just smiled and looked at Cheng Yang. Suddenly, Cheng Yang's eyes lit up. She looked at Jiang Peihuan and said excitedly, "Then can one learn medicine from you? How did Atis Cheng know that I know medicine?" Hearing Cheng Yang's words, Jiang Peihuan's eyes revealed a bit of surprise. Cheng Yang pointed at Jiang Peihuan and said softly, "One smell the fragrance of medicine on your body." Hearing this, Jiang Peihuan subconsciously smelled her sleeve. There was indeed a medicinal fragrance, but the smell was very faint. If one did not smell it carefully, one would not be able to smell it at all. Cheng Yang was still looking at Jiang Peihuan expectantly. However, when she thought of Cheng Yang's special identity, Jiang Peihuan didn't know how to deal with it. She directly looked at Xiao Nani beside her. The man did not say anything and went forward. What are you doing?" Seeing Xiao Nani walking towards her, Cheng Yang's eyes were filled with vigilance. Then she fell to the ground. Jiang Peihuan, who saw this scene, was stunned. Looking at the man beside her, Jiang Peihuan couldn't help but ask, "Why did you knock her out?" "This is the simplest way. You can't get through to her." After saying that, Xiao Nani glanced at the tree. Then Han Feng flew down. "Master, send her to Rong Mo." "Yes." Hearing Xiao Nanya's words, Han Feng picked Cheng Yang up from the ground and left the plum garden. "Aren't you going back?" After Han Feng left, Xiao Nani followed Jiang Peihuan into the room. Looking at the sky outside, Jiang Peihuan could not help but look at the man beside her. "Huan Air, at this moment, I just hope that time can pass faster." Hearing this, Jiang Peihuan's eyes revealed some doubt. Seeing the expression in her eyes, the man whispered, "So, one could be with you." When he said the last sentence, the man's eyes were full of gentleness. Seeing the expression in his eyes, Jiang Peihuan felt her cheeks burning up. Lowering her eyes, Jiang Peihuan said in a low voice, "It's getting late. I'm going to sleep. You should go back and rest early." Seeing that Jiang Peihuan's eyes were indeed filled with fatigue, Xiao Nani did not say anything else and stood up. Just as he was thinking about what to say, he heard Jiang Peihuan's voice. "In another half a month, you won't have to travel." As she spoke, Jian Peihuan followed Xiao Nani to the door. The man who had walked to the door suddenly turned around. Before Jiang Peihuan could react, the man reached out and hugged her. Then, Jiang Peihuan felt a warm breath on her lips. The man's movements were very gentle. Jiang Peihuan only felt a trace of warmth on her lips. Then Xiao Nani let go of her hand. "You don't have to send me off. It's cold outside." With that, the man left Jiang Peihuan's room and closed the door for her. Looking at the tightly shut door, Jiang Peihuan could not help but reach out to touch her lips. Her breath was still cold. Jiang Peihuan, who was lying on the bed, suddenly felt a sense of joy. But on this night, someone couldn't sleep. "Qing Mansion. Are you letting me stay here?" After Shuiru followed Xiao Juanhao back to Qing Mansion, she was brought into a courtyard. However, when the door was pushed open, there was an unpleasant smell. Other than that, the decorations inside were also very dilapidated. Looking at the house in front of her, Shuiru looked at the servant girl beside her with anger. "Miss, this is master's arrangement. As servants, we can't do anything about it." Initially, when she found out that she was arranged to serve Shuiru, Zhu Xiang was very happy. At least, she was the first female master to enter the Qing Mansion's residence. Zhu Xiang was completely disappointed after meeting her. Such a woman had no hope in the mansion. "I'm pregnant with his child. Where's His Highness?" One want to see him. Ju Xiang already ugly expression became even uglier. Miss, His Highness is busy every day. How can you see him whenever you want? You bastard, how dare you talk to me like that? Miss, one advise you to behave yourself. Before Shuiru could react, Ju Xiang shook her off. If it wasn't for Shuiru's quick reaction, she would have fallen to the ground. Shuiru's eyes still revealed a gloomy expression as she glared fiercely at Ju Xiang. Shuiru's eyes were gloomy as she said, "Bitch, do you believe that one will make you disappear? If master wanted to kill me, one would naturally accept it. But miss, you are not my master." After saying this, Ju Xiang left. Shuiru clenched her fists tightly as she watched her leave. What she didn't know was that Xiao Juanhao had heard everything very quickly. In the main hall, Lin Mingyao was carefully bandaging Xiao Junhao's wound. It was the same wound that Xiao Nani had caused in the general's mansion. Pei Wu was reporting what had happened to Shuiru to Xiao Juanhao. Xiao Junhao's eyes revealed a hint of mockery. "Your Highness, why don't you send 2 maids with better attitude to serve Miss Shui? After all, she is still pregnant with your child. If the Shui family really gave up on her, the child in her belly would be meaningless." Xiao Juanhao said calmly. Lin Mingyao didn't say anything else. After leaving the main hall, she didn't go back to her courtyard, but went straight to Shuiru's place. "Bitch, do you still know how to turn back? LTSU." Shuiru cursed when she heard the sound of footsteps, but when she saw the person who came in, she was stunned. Lin Mingyao walked into the room and sat down on a chair. After she reached out to straighten her skirt, she looked at Shuiru and said, "Miss Shui, do you know that if you weren't the daughter of the Shui family, you wouldn't even be able to enter the Qing mansions?" Chapter 256. Shuiru returns to the general's mansion. "What nonsense are you talking about?" Shuiru's eyes were filled with anger when she heard Lin Mingyio's words, but she still suppressed her anger when she thought of her current situation. However, when Lin Mingyao heard this, a smile appeared in her eyes. "Am I wrong? Miss Shui, do you really think that His Highness wants to be with you again because he likes you?" Naturally, Shuiru subconsciously wanted to open her mouth. Not long ago she thought so, but after today's incident, she began to doubt her own thoughts. After a moment of silence, Shuiru looked at Lin Mingyao. "What do you want from me?" "It's very simple. I want to help Miss Shui." "Help me?" Shuiru's eyes were filled with doubt when she heard Lin Mingyio's words. Although she wasn't smart, she wasn't stupid enough to believe that Mingyao would help her. Lin Mingyao looked at Shuiru's expression and said, "Whether you believe it or not, I came here today to help you. Then tell me how you want to help me." "If I were Miss Shui, I would go directly to the general's mansion at this moment." Shuiru's eyes were filled with disapproval when Lin Mingyao said that. "Although the Shui family doesn't recognize you anymore, you are still the daughter of the Shui family. As long as you go to the general's mansion, no one can do anything to you or chase you out." Shuiru's eyes were filled with curiosity. She looked at Lin Mingyao and asked subconsciously, "And then? Leave the rest to me, Miss Shui. Why are you helping me? No matter what, you already have His Highness' child in your stomach, and one will also marry into the Qing mansion in the future. One think you should know that in another half a month, the main consort will enter the prince's mansion, right?" Shuiru naturally knew about this. She also knew that the main consort and the side consort were married on the same day. Seeing Shuiru nod, Lin Mingyao continued, "After the main consort enters the residence, one hope that Miss Shui and one can be on the same side." Shuiru fell silent after hearing Lin Mingyio's words. After a long while she nodded. "Okay." With Lin Mingyio's interference, Shuiru changed her residence that night. Xiao Juanhao didn't say anything about what had happened in the backyard. Jiang Peihuan did not know about these matters in the Qing mansion. At this moment, she was looking at Cheng Yang, who was standing in the courtyard, with a headache. Cheng Yang was wearing a white cloak, but it was already covered in snow. Cheng Yang had been knocked unconscious by Han Feng and sent to Rong Mo's place. However, after she woke up, she went straight to the general's mansion. At this time, Xiao Nani was not around, so Jiang Peihuan naturally could not do something like knocking Qingyang out. An hour later, Jiang Peihuan opened the door. Are you willing to teach me medicinal skill? Qingyang was trembling all over, but when she saw the door open, she still looked up at Jiang Peihuan. Come in first. After saying that, Jiang Peihuan went straight to the main hall next door. Jiang Peihuan looked at Qingyang and said, sit down and talk. After she sat down, Jiang Peihuan poured Qingyang a glass of water. Qingyang was already freezing. Seeing the tea in front of her, she thanked her softly and immediately picked up the teacup. After drinking a cup of tea, Qingyang felt that she had come back to life. Jiang Peihuan did not make a sound. After seeing Qingyang's face return to normal, she looked at Qingyang and said, have you thought it through and decided to learn medicine? Yes, I've already thought it through. All right, 111 teach you. Really? Now that she heard her words, her eyes were filled with surprise. Jiang Peihuan did not speak but nodded. Qingyang whispered, aren't you going to ask me why I want to learn medicine? That's not important. What's important is that since you've already decided, one hope you won't give up so easily. Don't worry, I'll definitely study hard. Qingyang suddenly knelt down in front of Jiang Peihuan. Before she could react, Qingyang had already bowed to her 3 times. What are you doing? Jiang Peihuan was stunned. Qingyang smiled and said, you're my teacher now. I naturally have to pay my respect to you. Jiang Peihuan was speechless. Jiang Peihuan had never come into contact with someone with such a strange personality as Qingyang. Master, when will you start teaching me medicine? Don't call me master. Then I'll call you Huan Er. As soon as Jiang Peihuan finished speaking, Qingyang spoke directly. Huan Er, when will you start teaching me medicine? Jiang Peihuan asked herself that she was not that familiar with Qingyang, but seeing the smile in her eyes, she did not say anything. Jiang Peihuan put a few medical books in front of Qingyang and said softly, before you study medical books, you should read these books first. All right. Then I'll go back first. Reaching out to pick up the medical book on the table, Qingyang left Jiang Peihuan's plum garden. In the heavy snow, her figure was a little thin, but she walked very firmly. Look at her small body figure. Jiang Peihuan's eyes had a bit of complexity. Eldest miss, your cousin is here. Just as Qingyang left, Lu Er walked up to Jiang Peihuan. Hearing her words, the first thing Jiang Peihuan thought of was Xueru. Where is she? In Madame's courtyard. Jiang Peihuan did not say anything and walked directly in the direction of Yanlin. When Jiang Peihuan walked into the main hall, she saw Shui Yin getting someone to prepare supplements for Xueru. It seemed that she was prepared to let Xueru stay. Jiang Peihuan's eyes flashed, but she did not say anything. Instead, she stepped forward and bowed to Shui Yin. Mother? Huan Er, why are you here on such a snowy day? I heard that cousin is here, so I specially came to take a look. Hearing Jiang Peihuan's words, Shui Yin nodded and then said softly, your cousin already knows her mistake. It's just that your grandmother is currently in a fit of anger, so one let her stay in our residence for a few days. After a few days, when your grandmother's anger has subsided, we will settle your cousin's matter. Has cousin dispelled the idea of marrying into the Qing mansion? After a moment of silence, Jiang Peihuan opened her mouth. Chapter 257. Xueru makes her move. When Jiang Peihuan spoke, she was addressing Shui Yin, but her gaze was always on Xueru. Hearing Jiang Peihuan's words, Shui Yin also looked at Xueru. Meeting the expressions of Shui Yin and her daughter, thinking of what Lin Mingyao had said, Xueru's eyes reddened, nodding. I know I was wrong. If grandmother doesn't agree, I will never bring up the matter of marrying into the Prince Qing mansion again. In that case, we should inform maternal grandmother so she won't be worried. After looking at Xueru, Jiang Peihuan turned to Shui Yin. But before Shui Yin could speak, Xueru interrupted. Let's not inform grandmother yet. Seeing Jiang Peihuan's puzzled look, Xueru whispered. I was foolish before and upset grandmother. I'll apologize to her in a few days when she has calmed down. Then well, do as you wish. Upon hearing this, Jiang Peihuan said nothing more. Mother, if there's nothing else, I'll go back to my courtyard. All right. Watching Shui Yin nod, Jiang Peihuan stood up. As she was about to exit, she heard Shui Ru's voice. Cousin Huan Air? Hearing this, Jiang Peihuan stopped in her tracks, turned to look at Shui Ru, and softly inquired. Cousin Ru, is there something else? Cousin Huan Air, can I stay in your courtyard? You want to stay in my courtyard, Cousin Ru? Shui Yan, sitting in the main seat, flashed a hint of confusion at Shui Ru's request. Facing Shui Yan, Shui Ru softly said, Aunt, I'm a little scared. I'm only familiar with Huan Air in this mansion, so I hope to have her company. This. Hearing Shui Ru's words, Shui Yan was somewhat conflicted. After all, it was her niece, and it was hard to refuse outright. However, she also didn't want to impose on her daughter, so she looked at Jiang Peihuan. Huan Air, what do you think? Mother, let Cousin Ru stay in my courtyard. Cousin Huan Air, thank you. It's no problem. I'll have someone prepare a room for you. Hearing Shui Ru, Jiang Peihuan responded calmly. However, Shui Ru quickly added, I want a room close to yours. If Cousin Ru wants to stay close to me, it's fine, but Xiaobai is always in my room. I'm afraid if you're too close, it might bite you. Then, I better stay a bit further, but not too far. Thinking of Xiaobai, Shui Ru felt a pang in her leg, even though her wound had already healed. Subsequently, Shui Ru followed Jiang Peihuan to the plum garden. When Lu Er saw Shui Ru, her eyes widened in surprise. Only after Shui Ru and Jiang Peihuan had gone, she tugged on Yu Er's hand. Why is she here? Do your job and mind your own business, Yu Er responded coldly. By this time, Jiang Peihuan had already shown Shui Ru to a room in the plum garden, located in the opposite direction from her own. Opening the door, Jiang Peihuan said, Cousin Ru, you can stay here. Okay. Shui Ru looked around the tidy room and nodded in approval. Yu Er, find 2 obedient maids to serve Cousin Ru. Yes, eldest Mississippi. Cousin Ru, if you need anything in the next few days, just let me know. Cousin Huan Air, thank you so much. You're too kind, Cousin Ru. Yishao. Eldest Miss. As soon as Jiang Peihuan's voice fell, Yishao appeared before her. Looking at Yishao, Jiang Peihuan whispered, Keep an eye on Cousin Ru for the next few days. Yes. Regarding Shui Ru's arrival, Jiang Peihuan always felt something was amiss. However, Shui Ru was from the Shui family, and Jiang Peihuan couldn't directly do anything, so she could only have someone secretly keep an eye on her. At this time, Shui Ru was closing the windows and doors of her room. Only when the room was completely empty did she open the note in her palm, which was given to her by a maid just a while ago. Seeing the contents of the note, a trace of conflict flashed in Shui Ru's eyes, but she finally made up her mind. At the same moment in the Prince Qing's mansion, Lin Mingyao was talking to Xiao Juanhao about Shui Ru. Your Highness, the message has been delivered to Miss Shui. As long as she places the item in Jiang Hong's study, he will certainly be punished by the Emperor. Your Highness, Jiang Hong doesn't want to side with you. In that case, he should be removed. Once Jiang Hong falls, Jiang Peihuan will be just like her, and not the miss of the general's mansion as she is now, especially given that her own father was exiled to the northern border. Don't worry. I will take care of the matter regarding your father. After a moment of silence, Xiao Juanhao looked at Lin Mingyao and whispered. Hearing this, gratitude spread across Lin Mingyao's face, though her eyes remained unchanged. Thank you, Your Highness. Shui Ru's sudden return to the general's mansion didn't alarm anyone, but the head of the Jiang family knew about it. Due to Shui Yan's relationship, no one said anything. For the first few days, Shui Ru was very calm. But on the evening of the 4th day, under the pretext of taking a walk, she went to Yanlin. At this time, Shui Yan was not in Yanlin. Yi Xiao, who had been secretly watching Shui Ru, immediately went to Jiang Peihuan's room after seeing Shui Ru leaving Jiang Hong's study. You said she went to my father's study? Yes. Seeing Yi Xiao nodding, Jiang Peihuan immediately said, Let's go to my father's study. Eldest Miss, should we inform the First Madam and the Great General about this? No need. After a brief silence, Jiang Peihuan shook her head. Seeing this, Yi Xiao didn't say more and followed Jiang Peihuan to Jiang Hong's study. Jiang Peihuan frequently entered and left Jiang Hong's study, so her visit didn't attract anyone's attention. After entering the study, Jiang Peihuan began to search carefully. Eventually, she found a letter tucked between the pages of a book. Opening the envelope and seeing its contents, Jiang Peihuan's eyes darkened. The letter contained correspondence between Jiang Hong and those in the northern border. Jiang Hong had already handed over his military seal. If this letter fell into the hands of someone with ulterior motives, Jiang Hong would definitely be suspected by Emperor Qi Ming. He might even be punished. Holding the envelope in her hand, Jiang Peihuan looked upset. After a long time, Jiang Peihuan gestured to Yi Xiao, who approached, and Jiang Peihuan whispered a few words in her ear. Hearing Jiang Peihuan's words, Yi Xiao nodded. "Don't worry, eldest Mississippi. I will go and speak to His Highness immediately." Chapter 258. The general's mansion is surrounded. After speaking, Yi Xiao left Jiang Hong's study. Jiang Peihuan stuffed the envelope into her sleeve and left shortly after. But upon entering her own plum garden, Jiang Peihuan gave a cold glance at Shuiru's room. At this moment, Shuiru was still unaware that her actions had been discovered by Jiang Peihuan. She was pacing back and forth in her room, her eyes full of excitement. She had already sent out the message. Now, she was eagerly awaiting the arrival of Prince Qing. As night deepened, due to a sudden whim of old Madame Jiang, the main members of the Jiang family dined together in the Chrysanthemum Hall. Even Shuiru sat at the table. "It's getting late. You all should go back and rest," said the old madam, looking at everyone. Jiang Hong, being the eldest, was about to speak when he saw Deputy General Liu rushing in. "Great General, our mansion is surrounded." "What did you say?" Hearing Deputy General Liu's words, even the usually composed Jiang Hong's face changed slightly. "Soldiers are everywhere outside, surrounding our entire mansion." "How many of them? Who's leading?" "About 1,000 soldiers. Prince Qing is leading." Hearing this, Jiang Hong instinctively looked at Shuiru, and so did the rest of the Jiang family. "Ru heir, is Prince Qing here for you?" Everyone thought Prince Xiao Juanhao came for Shuiru. Even Shui Yan thought so. Hence she directly asked Shuiru. But Shuiru shook her head. "Aunt, I don't know." As Shuiru's words fell, Xiao Junhao's voice came from outside. "Great General, I received a confidential report claiming you are still in contact with the northern border." Dressed in black with his long hair tied up, Xiao Junhao's appearance stirred emotions in Shuiru's eyes. However, he turned his gaze to Jiang Peihuan. He expected to see panic and fear in her eyes, but she only showed indifference. When Xiao Juanhao finished speaking, Jiang Peihuan stepped forward, defending her family. "Your Highness, one should provide evidence when making accusations. My father has always been loyal to the Emperor. If you claim he's been in touch with the northern border, where's your proof?" "Evidence will surface when sought," Xiao Juanhao retorted. "Search the place." Upon uttering these words, Xiao Juanhao motioned to Pei Wu. At Xiao Junhao's command, Pei Wu began to move towards Yanlin. However, a chilling gust swept past him, prompting him to dodge on instinct. He turned to see Jiang Peihuan standing there, a black whip gripped firmly in her hand, now squarely between him and his destination. She leveled the whip at Pei Wu and said icily, "This is my mother's courtyard. Anyone who dares take a step forward will answer to me. Miss Jiang, I'm merely following orders. Kindly move aside." It seemed like Jiang Peihuan didn't hear Pei Wu at all, and remained still. Seeing this, Pei Wu, feeling a bit embarrassed, drew his sword. "If that's the case, I apologize in advance." As he spoke, Pei Wu lunged at Jiang Peihuan with his sword. But before it could reach her, the sword was deflected by someone. It was Jiang Hong. "How dare you harm my daughter in front of me? Do you think I, Jiang Hong, am dead? Great General, are you unwilling to let my men in because you have something to hide?" At this time, Xiao Juanhao also approached the entrance of Yanlin. Hearing Xiao Junhao's words, Jiang Hong replied with a gloomy look. "Prince Qing, Although you are a prince, you don't have the right to search my residence. And if it's by my order? A flash of light appeared, and then the figure of Emperor Qi Ming appeared in front of everyone. Seeing Emperor Qi Ming, everyone knelt down and greeted, "Your Majesty." Emperor Qi Ming approached Jiang Hong and looked at the kneeling crowd. His eyes were full of complexity. Remembering what Xiao Juanhao told him, Emperor Qi Ming finally turned to Jiang Hong and said, "Jiang Hong, I have heard that you still have connections with the north border. Is this true?" "Your Majesty, ever since I handed over my military seal, I have had no dealings with the north border." "In that case, let Prince Qing search." As soon as Jiang Hong finished speaking, Emperor Qi Ming ordered directly. Hearing this, there was a hint of surprise in Jiang Hong's eyes, followed by a hint of pain. After a moment, he lowered his head and replied, "Your servant obeys." And with that, Jiang Hong stepped aside. Wait! Just as Pei Wu was about to lead his men inside, he saw Jiang Peihuan kneel before Emperor Qi Ming. "Jiang Peihuan, you dare to defy my order?" Facing Jiang Peihuan kneeling before him, Emperor Qi Ming said coldly, "Your servant would never defy your Majesty's command. Then why aren't you stepping aside? Your Majesty, you ordered a search of the general's mansion. No one in the mansion dares to defy your order. However, if outsiders hear of this, it might harm my father's reputation. If my father really did something that betrayed your Majesty, he naturally deserves to be punished. However, my father has always been loyal to your Majesty. I dare ask, if nothing is found in my father's courtyard today, how will your Majesty treat this matter?" Towards the end, Jiang Peihuan looked directly into Emperor Qi Ming's eyes. Initially, Emperor Qi Ming showed some anger at Jiang Peihuan's questioning, but after seeing the look in her eyes, his anger subsided. After a long pause, he said, "If your father is falsely accused, one will stand by your father's side, no matter who speaks ill of him in my presence. And I will severely punish the one who gave me this information." "I believe in your Majesty," said Jiang Peihuan as she stepped aside. Subsequently, Pei Wu led his men into the courtyard. Suddenly, the sound of rummaging could be heard. Hearing this, everyone in the general's mansion turned pale. Only Jiang Peihuan remained calm. However, when her gaze fell on Shui Ru, it was filled with undisguised murderous intent. For the sake of old Madame Shui and Shui Yan, Jiang Peihuan could overlook Shui Ru's schemes against her. However, this time Shui Ru attempted to ruin the entire Jiang family, and Jiang Peihuan could no longer forgive her. Half an hour passed with no news. An hour passed, still no news. As no one came out, Xiao Juanhao looked increasingly uneasy. Finally, Pei Wu came out with his men. Seeing them, Xiao Juanhao showed a hint of a smile. However, Pei Wu's words made Xiao Junhao's smile disappear instantly. "Your Majesty, we found nothing." After speaking, Pei Wu lowered his head. "This can't be possible." You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.